Cut my poop into pieces. I'm in the bathroom stall. Suffocation, no breathing. Can't even flush without cutting my feces. I'm in the bathroom stall. Cut my poop into pieces. I'm in the bathroom stall, suffocation, no breathing. Can't even flush without cutting my feces. My poops are big, do you think it's so easy? Would it be wrong, would it be right? If I cut my poop tonight, chances are that I might. Defecation is my right. I'm contemplating suicide. Cause I'm losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would hand me a knife. Losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish my buddy just had a poop knife. I never realized I was spread too thin, till it was too late and I was empty within. Hungry, feeding on chaos and living in sin. Downward spiral, where do I begin? It all started with some insane hunger. Too much for myself, but not enough for another. Searching to find a knife up on a higher level. Something to cut through this giant pebble. Cause I'm losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would hand me a knife. Losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish my buddy just had a poop knife. This thing's not right. I need to incise. I'm pooping and I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm crying. Oh, it hurts. Take it out. Oh, I need to cut it with a knife. You're listening to the Gamecasters.
Natalie, Jeff, and Ryan are the Gamecasters, and they do a board game show, inboxes, and nooks and games, and top 5 lists, and sometimes there's fart jokes.
Hello again, gamers, and welcome to episode 88 of the Gamecasters, the only podcast that can get away with talking about stakes being thrown at closed windows, penises being drawn on wedding albums, Tide pens being used to cover up seminal fluid, and knives being used to slice fecal floaters in half in order to slide down the gullet of the toilet easier and somehow collect more listeners. My name is Ryan, and I'm the maestro of this orgasmic orchestra of awkwardness. With me is Jeff Jumbo Junk, the Justin Jolly jaw-dropping jaguar who loves to jack it with jelly beans, and Natalie, the who's never not nearly done with this shit. I wish you could see Natalie's face. We got a great show lined up for you today, filled to the brim with who knows what. We have no idea. Fake it to make it, brother. And my personal favorite, how the hell should I know? Let's get this party started with a question I'm pretty sure everyone has for us at this point. If you could have a sex doll made of your celebrity crush, would banging it be considered cheating?
No. It's not a real person.
Yeah, probably not.
So, okay.
It's basically like a sex toy. Like, it'd be like, if you use a vibrator, is that cheating? No.
Natalie makes a good point. I'm an alien.
But your vibrator in this point is a lifelike doll of Ryan Reynolds.
What if she just
Still a doll.
What if she just stuck like a tiny picture of like a sticker of Ryan Reynolds
on her vibrator?
Yes.
I'd walk in and be like, "Excuse me, what are you doing here?" So, like, if you're cleaning the house downstairs and you came up and I was just in bed and this model of Selena Gomez was laying next to me and we were both naked and I had my arm around her and was panting heavily.
Both naked.
You can clothe them. You can clothe the dolls. Okay. But we're just like laying there and I'm like, "Oh, hey, Natalie, you'd be fine with that? It'd be okay with you?"
Okay, listen. I'm saying it's
You're not saying
cheating.
you'd be okay with it.
Right. I'm saying it's not cheating. I'm not saying I wouldn't be like weirded out. Like, what the fuck?
No, okay, well, what would you feel? I'm not saying you'd have to feel weirded out. Would you be like, what are you doing? I'm just laying in bed naked with this other woman doll.
I guess it depends if I knew you had this style. If that was the first time I was seeing it, I think I would be like...
Oh, if there was like some conversation over dinner, like, listen, Natalie, I've been thinking... Like, I've held back on my Kickstarter. Like, I've been backing a lot of Kickstarters, but I paused because I really want the Selena Gomez sex doll. And
yeah, what do you think about that?
That's like $5,000.
What do you think about that?
Actually, what would you think about that if we had that conversation? Like right now, I'm having this conversation with you. I want a Selena Gomez sex doll. What's
your
say?
response? And this is a serious thing. Jeff is not here. You're at dinner by yourself.
Yeah, we're like, this is for
Ryan
real.
Took you to a public place
like,
so you wouldn't have an outburst.
Look, I can't. I'm with you now for the rest of my life, which is amazing. Yep. That's what I wanted.
Yep.
But
and I agree.
This is my one chance to potentially
It's very
have sex.
Have a relation with Selena Gomez,
and then
and maybe there's like an agreement, like if you're home, he's not going to do it. It's just if you go out, he's going to bang Selena Gomez.
I only do it if you're not home.
Yeah, is that what I said?
Oh, I thought you said the other way. I thought you said the other way.
If I'm home, he's not.
Oh yeah. If you're home, I won't do it. Or do you have to be in the room when I do it?
Well, that one she's not going to go.
Well, you never know.
You got to be somebody in the middle.
Yeah, what would you think?
Well,
Is this going to creep into a threesome conversation?
Awesome.
Oh my God.
I hope so. I hope it does. Tell me about this, Natalie.
I don't know. It's hard to take it seriously because I don't ever see that happening.
Well,
but,
I can see Ryan's computer screen and it's happening.
Natalie, you're typing, in fact. You're typing, Natalie.
Click, click, click.
I feel like I think I would be... Okay, so you know how I am, right?
No,
I'm like...
I don't know. How are you?
I never want to like take away your dreams. So I think I would be a little like, that's really weird, but if that's what he really wants, okay.
Really? But then what if I start banging it more than I'm banging you?
Like the sex drive moves.
Yeah,
from
I
you
can also see
it.
me being like, well, I'm a real person. Like, why are you choosing this doll over me kind of thing?
And what if I'm like, well, it's Selena Gomez. I mean,
It's Selena Gomez.
Well, I mean, how lifelike is it?
Extremely lifelike. It looks just like her, except
doesn't move.
Like, does
she
it
doesn't
feel,
speak.
Does her body feel like a body?
Yes. Sure. It is the most lifelike thing ever, except it's not alive.
I don't know. I think
And you walk in the door one day from work and I'm banging it. And you don't think that's cheating?
I still wouldn't call it cheating, but maybe more.
What if at the end I'm like, I love you, Selena Gomez doll.
We might have some relationship issues.
Remember in 30 Rock where James Franco was
with the pillow? Kamiko, the love pillow?
Yeah.
He loved her. Yeah, so what if I fall in love with this Selena Gomez doll? I love you, Selena Gomez doll.
That's not.
So I have a funny story about my dad I want to tell everybody.
I don't even know what to say.
If you don't know, my dad passed away last year, and it's been difficult now as I've lost both of my parents before I've even turned 40. And that's all sad and bad. But while he was still alive, he provided us with so much humor, laughter, and just constant stories to tell.
Truth.
The man was a walking story, right? I mean, everything he did was ridiculous, outlandish, and hilarious. For instance, at my dad's funeral, my friend Matt, he told a story about how my dad pulled a gun on him.
Yep.
And everyone at the funeral laughed.
Yeah, and they were like, yep, that's him.
Yep.
They were he was like, I felt honored.
Yeah. He said, most people would be terrified at a gun being used. I felt it was an honor. He was basically Frank Reynolds. Okay. Well, the story I've been thinking of has to do with my dad's severe love of the female body. This is not a Selena Gomez sex doll.
Okay.
I remember when he was near the end, I picked him up from the hospital, and in his almost comatose state, he got in my car and he was like, oh, buddy, you should have seen the nurses.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You definitely got that from
It's
him.
just the way he was. Yeah. It's just the way.
Genetic thing passed down.
Yeah. Likes the female body a lot.
It's just the way he was. I don't know how there was no way he couldn't not be that way. It was just like ingrained in his personality. Well, one time, my buddies were spending the night. We were in high school, so this was probably about 20 years ago now or so. And my dad used to work afternoons. So he would go to work at like 3 p.m. and work until like 11. Okay. So he's getting home at midnight, which means he's then awake during like the middle of the night. And that normally meant that he was just alone 100% of the time, as he'd be asleep when we went to school and basically at work by the time we got home. And then when we got home, he'd be asleep, so we just wouldn't see him, right? So he could do whatever the hell he wanted to all the time, which, man, thinking about it now, I'm like, God, he had the life.
Yeah,
he could just do
made.
what... He was basically a bachelor who just, like, part of his salary went and paid for some of the kids' stuff.
Yeah.
Well, one Friday night, two of my friends were spending the night, and it was like 1 or 2 a.m., and we were still awake because it's the weekend and we're young and up all night. Well, we came downstairs to get a snack and completely surprised my dad, who assumed he was the only one awake, like normal. And what did we surprise him doing, you ask? Take a guess real quick. What do you think we surprised him doing? What was he doing?
Porn.
He had a sex doll.
Sex doll porn. I don't know if sex dolls were a thing back then.
They were.
Were
now.
they? He was browsing the internet, so you're correct. but he wasn't looking at porn necessarily. He was looking at Russian mail order brides.
What website?
But
www.russianmailorderbride.com.
But that wasn't just what he was doing. There was this thing. It was like Russian mail order bride rater. And so they were being rated out of 10. You could rate them.
Oh my God.
But so he wasn't doing the rating. He was, or maybe he was.
Checking out the rating.
Yes.
He was like on the Yelp of.
He was checking out. Yes. He was Yelping Russian mail order brides. Okay. It was really funny. We were like all of a sudden upon him, you know? And so he didn't, the wonders of Alt Tab wasn't a thing he knew.
Yeah.
So he's just like, here they are. I can't do anything about this. What am I going to do? And it's all dark in the room. So we come downstairs around the corner, and there's just this, like I said, this completely darkened room with the computer on, and this blonde bimbo lady front and center on the screen, and my dad looking at us as if his son and friends just caught him in the dark looking at Russian mail order brides on the internet. Anyone else would have been like, oh, how did I get here? Or maybe it wouldn't have been like, don't tell your mom.
Yeah.
But not my dad. No, my dad played it off as though it was the most normal of things he could possibly be doing. After the look of shock and awe went off of his face, because it was like, he was like, oh, fuck. His brain decided to be like, so he answered the question, what are you doing? With, oh, well, you know, the guys at work sent me this thing where you can see these ladies, and it's like, well, look at this one. She's pretty. I'll bet she's like a 7.256 out of 10. I don't know. And then he clicks the button and shows the score. Oh, sure enough. Look at that. 7.256. Wow, I was right. And we're like, what? And he's like, let's look at the next one. Okay, here's Natasha. Yeah, okay, I'll bet she's like an 8.371. I don't know. Click. Oh, yeah, well, look at that. 8.371.
Oh my God.
He was right every single time, which means he had been looking at this for hours and memorized the scores of these women. And we were like, what the fuck? Like, but he was telling this to us like, yeah, this is just what
this is what I do.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
Everyone does this, don't they?
And I do this.
But like, why was he doing this? Was this porn for him? Was he going to order me one for my 18th birthday?
Oh.
What was he doing? Why did he not just explain anything? What the hell was he doing?
He just embraced it.
So that passed into legendarium in with me and these two guys, because it was just like that was it, and then we just like went upstairs.
So I have a question about Russian mail order brides.
Yeah, sure.
So you rate them, but like, are people who don't, like, you just go on and rate what they look like, and then, because it's not like these people are married to her and then rate them online.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what was the website. What the website was?
How you would rate
they were definitely. It was like Russian beauties. It was like what the website he was looking at. It was like something like that. So I don't know if it was actually mail order brides.
And then you just buy them and they show up.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if it was actually mail order brides. I don't know if it was some extension of a porn site. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. But he was going
Did your mom
through
ever find out?
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, she had no idea. But he was going through each woman, and he memorized the score, because he must have like hit the back button a bunch of times. One week came upon him like, oh god, I got jumping in this page for 3 hours. This is not going back to Yahoo, you know. And so then I could see after he goes back 5 times, he's like, oh, there's Natasha again.
Oh, there it is.
I know her score. This will impress these guys. Like we used to at school boys. We watched him correctly guess the exact score down to the 1,000th place.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times in a row, and then ran upstairs WTFing the entire time.
Well, it's funny because now that you're an adult and a parent, like, you know how normal that is.
To be on Russian.
To look at Russian
mail order. Just to, like, look at inappropriate.
Now I know.
Coming home.
Look at inappropriate.
This one, Natalie. Age story where I understand
like,
my dad.
Imagine like your kids coming in, seeing something that you look at. There's a chance that it could be like inappropriate and weird.
Well, okay, I would have not batted an eyelash if I came downstairs and there's just 2 women fucking each other.
Yeah.
That would have been like, oh, okay, I was watching porn.
Yeah.
This was weird.
Yeah, that is
This
weird.
was weird.
Yeah,
because I've definitely like had experiences where like I've seen things where I'm like, oh, that's awkward.
With your dad?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't on the computer. It was, I remember, back in the day when we used to have, to tape shows.
What?
Fronts. We used to, on like VHS.
Fronts. Yeah, pop the tab out.
Yeah, you'd record, what? You'd record a show on a VHS and so you could watch it later when you're not home. Well, one time we went and put one in the VCR,
porn.
And then for 2 seconds,
your mom and dad.
It was
Scramble
like 2
porn.
seconds. It was like porn, and then went to the show, and I was like, ah!
He recorded over porn. I found some 80s porn that my dad had.
And there was another time,
lots of bush.
and this is a very young memory because this girl I was friends with in elementary school.
Oh no!
Only
your dad had a video.
Not my dad. We were at her house, and I remember we were in her parents' bedroom playing or doing something, and we like went in like a cupboard, and there was this like a stack of magazines, and we were like little kids, probably.
Remember
like
back when magazines were a thing for porn?
Yeah, so we were like, ooh, what is that? Close that door.
Wow, that's like archaic.
I remember that.
Remember paying for porn? Like, who would do that now? Anyway, have you guys ever walked in on your parents?
No.
No.
Hallelujah.
I heard them through the wall one time.
I never.
My wall was adjoining theirs, and it was just like
my parents were also like divorced before I would like.
Oh, that's true.
You know
yeah, that's true.
So
you were young
different.
enough to not hear that.
Like I was in like
I was pretty
fourth
young.
grade. I guess I would have I don't know how much I would have understood.
Yeah,
but no, I would never.
Right.
There was just this one time.
Daddy's not hurting mommy.
Just don't go in there.
There was one time where I was like a teenager and I was out and I didn't feel good, so I ended up coming home earlier than my parents expected me to.
Your mom's hair was all messed up.
And I walked in the front door and my mom like ran up to the door and she like wasn't fully dressed, and she kind of like bombarded me and it was like startled me, and I was like, she's like, oh, like, what are you doing home? And I'm just like, what?
What do you have, diarrhea?
And then I just like all like realized, like it came to like I realized what was happening. Like, oh my god, they must be doing things.
Was Dad's penis in your
and then so I just like I just went up to my bedroom and closed the door and never came back out. Like,
Natalie, if you need something, I'm in the bedroom. You need anything? You good? Okay, go in your room, lock the door.
I didn't see anything, but I was like, I gathered, but something was happening.
One time my dad walked in on me while me and my girlfriend were doing stuff.
Oh god.
He walked in, he was just like, so I was young, so it was HJ territory was all
sure,
that
yeah,
happened,
just,
So he like knock open. He didn't do like knock wait for me to answer and then open. It was knock open.
As he was opening. Yeah,
I didn't know he was home because he was always at work, right? So knock open. Hey, do you have the phone? And then like close the door.
Like full on, like her hand on your.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, here's the worst part. I finished after.
That didn't ruin.
Thanks, Dad.
I was a virile young man. I had to continue.
Like,
he yelled at me so badly afterward. Yeah. Well, he was like, first of all, good job. Second of all,
he did
what? He was basically like, what the fuck are you doing? Your mom is out there. She could have been the one that came in. He's like, you want your mom seeing that? And I was like, no. I don't.
You're like,
what do you think I was going to answer yesterday?
I was like, I'm just a horny high school student, like.
Oh boy.
Yep. So that's crazy. Jeff, what about you? What have you been up to, man?
Nothing like that.
That was some crazy stories we just.
Okay, I have two things. I got TV shows I've been watching, and I got a story from Reddit that's not about a poop knife.
Oh, damn.
What do you want to hear first?
Is it a pea strainer?
No, but it has to do with poop.
Oh,
it falls into the poop genre.
Category.
Let's save that for after the TV discussion.
Okay, TV
what are you
discussion.
watching?
All right, I'm watching. So this is also the beginning of, I feel like every of my favorite shows are like coming back really, really soon right now. So like Ozark is coming back.
Oh yeah.
Flight Attendant is coming back.
Yeah, that's
it's back.
The show, it just came back.
But it's like one episode per week.
Oh,
yeah.
I
There's
see.
the show on Netflix that I really loved season 1 of called Russian Doll.
My dad just told me yesterday he likes that show.
Yes. This is, I have no idea what
is it like an 8.23?
Yeah, she's like an 8.23. She's, the main character is, she's from American Pie is probably where you know her, the redhead from American Pie.
Oh, Allison Hannigan or whatever?
No. Okay, maybe not the redhead from, is it? It's not Allison Hannigan.
So not the one from How I Met
It's
Your
like
Mother.
the, kind of like, not the one from How I Met Your Mother. It's sort of like the crazier one.
The one from Orange is the New Black?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Natasha.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Orange is the New Black girl.
She might be blonde and whatever. Well, whatever. She
I could see her as a Russian male order.
Right hair. Yeah, she's Russian. 8.32.
8.2.
And
What's her last?
so in the first season, it's a Groundhog Day show. It repeats and repeats and repeats. This one is like a little different. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a different kind of premise, but it's still in this kind of weird, like loop, kind of weird kind of thing. But I was like, how are they going to do this again and again and again? But they changed the premise. The premise. It's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
So it's only 30 minutes, which I like, and there's only 10 episodes, so we
That
can
is
kind of
cool.
cruise through that. But so my new favorite thing that I'm watching is on HBO called Winning Time.
Winning Time.
We started watching that.
It's great.
Yeah.
This is my favorite thing that I'm currently
great.
watching.
It's great.
That's on.
Talk about it. Tell us what it is.
Okay, so Winning Time is set in the like 80s, so 79 through 80s and it's Laker basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's the growth of
Magic Johnson.
So the first kind of episode is this built up of the Lakers are they going to draft Magic Johnson? This Magic Johnson Larry Bird kind of fight, sort of this rivalry.
Larry Legend.
And this guy Jerry Buss, who is this like eccentric
Brule.
Steve Brule, who's like, it's just amazing being able to see it. He does. He's like 20% Steve Brule.
Yeah, he is.
So they do this thing.
Steve Brule
they do this thing in the show where they like break the fourth wall and they'll talk to you, not in like an office sort of way, but all of a sudden, like if it's me and Ryan, we're talking to each other about basketball.
Jeff just turns to the camera.
He could like turn the camera and be like, I fucking hate this guy.
Yep.
And then they turn back. And it's just like, when he does that, it's like, that's Brule. Like, it's just
totally Brule.
There's some mannerisms where I'm like, that's Steve Brule.
Plus, just the way his voice inflects sometimes is like, oh man.
It is John C. Reilly.
Man, and it's just an excuse to watch him, which is amazing because he's absolutely hilarious.
He's great.
He plays this guy so well because this guy, Jerry Buss, was this sort of eccentric millionaire, but he didn't really have the money that he really had and bought the Lakers somehow by like trading property and kind of like...
He owned the Chrysler building, for fuck's sake.
He sold the Chrysler building to buy the Lakers.
Right.
And he buys the Lakers when they're in the down, like they're kind of down point, and he sort of creates this show. It's like Showtime basketball is what he calls it, where there's like dancers and cheerleaders and like this event that you go to in LA. Right. He creates what we know as where all these celebrities sit down in these Laker games, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's awesome.
It's very well done.
It's
very
set in late 70s.
Very
the
well
first
done.
episode, we were like, okay, this is
we're like, this is great.
Set in late 70s, early 80s. The way that they shoot it, the cinematography and the camera work
looks old.
It looks old.
Yeah.
I think it's so good.
Yeah,
I'm like, I want to watch it all the time.
Also, they somehow, the actors they hired to look like the basketball player, like when Kareem was on, I was like, that's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
What's he doing there?
I know. I'm like, that's Kareem, right? And they were like, hey, Kareem. I'm like, I knew it. That looks just like him.
Yeah,
That's
it's
funny.
great.
It was really good.
And also, I think it can span people who don't necessarily like basketball. I think because it's one of those shows like Friday Night Lights, or even like Ted Lasso's like, oh, it's a soccer show. There's not much soccer.
Right.
There's
It's
basketball
the story.
in this
it's
show.
Not about basketball.
Right.
Yeah, like Friday Night Lights.
But if you like basketball and are like you grew up when we grew up like in the 80s and 90s and you watched or 70s, 80s, 90s, you watched Lakers, Celtics, Pistons, you watched those.
Yep.
This is
Bulls.
cool.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Very cool.
So that's
it's really well done.
It's just well done and it's entertaining.
We're watching that Winning Time, and we're also watching this show that we heard from the Discord. Amanda and I think Plurpy talked about it. It's called The Great.
Okay, that's next on our list.
And we're watching that's on as a Hulu exclusive show.
Is it great?
It's really good.
Good, not great.
It's good, not great. No, no. It is so far. It's really good.
Okay.
We're about halfway through the first season, I think, and I've heard the second season is where it's at. But basically, it's the show. I don't know if you know anything about it, but the show is about the rise of Catherine the Great, who basically was the Empress of Russia.
But it's not like in a boring way. It's in a more like
it's a comedy.
It's like a comedy, entertaining way because like it's not 100% accurate. It's not supposed to be like some sort of.
It even says at the beginning,
drama.
it's like the Great, and there's an asterisk, and it says like
mostly
sometimes accurate.
sometimes so true.
That's why when I saw the picture for it on Hulu, I was like, those shows don't.
That's what I thought too. I want because I've been recommended before.
Queen Victoria show. I don't want to watch that kind of show.
It's not like
but
that.
I've heard it's like a comedy, satirical sort of thing.
So it's not like slapstick comedy, which I thought it was going to be when we started it. It's like it's a show, but it's
there's
funny.
got drama in it too. But it's also mostly it's just kind of more like ridiculous.
Goofy. Yeah, it's like goofy. Like the guy who plays the current emperor, Peter. He's just he's a ridiculous character.
All he does is like talk about how big his cock is and fucking women and like stuff like that.
It's really good.
It's really
well done. Elle Fanning is in it, who she's Dakota Fanning's little sister, which is really weird for me because to me, if you said Dakota Fanning, I think a little girl. Yeah.
Right.
But now her younger sister's in it and she's naked all the time and
I think her younger sister is now more relevant than she is.
Yeah, totally.
I think so too.
Elle Fanning's done a lot more.
Yeah, I've seen her in other stuff too. And the guy who plays Peter is Beast from X-Men. Nicholas Hoult, I think his name is.
Yeah, from X-Men First Class, if you've seen X-Men First Class.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good show.
It is good.
So far.
Is
it great yet? Not yet.
It's not
for me. It's not. So right now, I'm not like, I can. That's all I want to watch is that. But it's really, really good so far. And I'm excited to keep watching it. Yeah,
we'll check it out.
We also tried. What else did we?
We just watched the latest season of the Great Pottery.
Yeah, the Great Pottery Throwdown, which is awesome.
Which we love that show,
love that.
and so there's a new season, and we'd watch it in like a week.
Same premise, but
darn it, it's over.
Yeah, it's just really cool the stuff they make with the pottery, and it makes you want to like learn pottery. It just
and it's a British. It's a British reality show, which is much different than an American reality show.
The last time we watched it, but it's not about the drama, which is what America is all about. It's really about the competition, and all the people are so nice to each other. And it's
I like that with the British baking show, where they're just like, I'll help everyone.
They're cheering each other on.
Yeah, like the main guy.
There's like zero drama. It's just the Pottery Throwdown.
The main guy who's like the judge. He literally cries at everybody's work.
Because it's like, so I remember.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
You know what's funny though? So like the host broke her leg or something. So they had a host through most of this one that was not her. And we were like, this girl looks so familiar.
It was Sassy from Ted Lasso. Sassy from Ted Lasso.
Natalie's so pissed that you cut her off. She's like so angry.
Time.
You're not getting that sex doll.
You can't ever let me have my own
You are
thing.
not getting the Selena Gomez.
No, because I keep it. I'll stop interrupting you if I can get the sex doll.
No, it's like build
I took the punchline.
And then take the punchline.
It's like 95% of that sentence. Sassy from Ted Lasso.
Sassy
Why
from
do
Ted
I
Lasso.
even talk?
And
the Beast from X-Men. Got you.
No, you said Beast.
What do you think?
I didn't say.
You got served.
If I had the Selena Gomez
so we're
sex
also
doll,
watching. We're watching this. Like this.
I feel like it's like I just finished your
sandwiches.
Dang it! All right, Jeff, tell us your Reddit story.
I got it. Got a thing. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so this is from the subreddit "Truth Off My Chest."
Truth off my chest.
It's where some people just like.
You said it's about poop. Is there poop on the chest?
No, like I got to get this story off my chest.
Yeah, it's like I have to tell somebody this because I've been living with something like this and I don't know what to do. Well,
Natalie.
it's something to do with poop. This is titled, "My wife poops in the shower."
Come on.
Okay, it's not very long.
Oh man.
My wife poops in the shower and stomps it down the drain. This is not a joke.
What? Wait a minute.
She recently told me this, and I've been living with it for weeks now. She even broke the news to me while laughing about it. She said, "You know what a waffle stomp is?"
No.
She asked me as she laughed and laughed so hard she started crying.
You married this woman.
I feel disgusted and betrayed.
You should,
says this guy. I can't even look at her over breakfast anymore before I head off to work. And while I'm at work, all I can do is wonder to myself, is she pooping in the shower right now?
And waffle stomping
her feet again.
What's a waffle stomp?
You know how the drain is looks like a wall and you push it down?
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
That's so disgusting.
Apparently this has been going on for years. She says she uses the scented candles she obsessively buys online to mask the smell. I work 12 to 15 hours a day, so plenty of time for her to cover her shit stink.
There's a toilet right next to the shower.
A few times we've had to snake that drain due to a clog, and now I know why. He says, "I'm not sure I can live this life anymore."
Yeah, you gotta get out.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That is disgusting.
That's disgusting.
Oh, what are
Why
the comments?
wouldn't you just go in the toilet?
I just screenshotted just the story.
Skin?
You're stomping the poop down the drain with your foot, with your
in the
bare
shower,
foot.
Well, like,
take a dump.
Or do you squat? Do you just kind of like
she does it on purpose?
You stand there and let it go.
She's 100% doing it on purpose and stomping it down the drain.
Well, and she thinks it's funny.
Those pipes are not toilet pipes. Poop does not go down shower drains.
No, right.
That's not where poop goes.
Where does that pipe lead?
Well, eventually leads to the same pipe, but that's a smaller pipe.
Well, I wonder because it depends on if you're on a septic field or not. Because I doubt that does the shower go to the septic field?
Goes to the septic field. I feel like it's the toilets that go there.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Where does the shower?
She's trying to save the septic field. Maybe.
Shower goes out to the lake.
That's fucking disgusting.
That's
disgusting.
That is seriously disgusting.
If you have someone in your life that poops in the shower, you need to leave them.
You got to go to Reddit about it.
You have to go to Reddit and tell us. Tell the world.
God.
Get it off your chest.
I mean,
I do not want it to go near any poop.
And it's like you probably...
So if you found out after many years that I was pooping in the shower, would you be more disgusted than finding out that after many years I've been slicing my poop in half with a knife?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, the poop knife is like...
Because you're not touching the poop.
The poop knife, for how disgusting all that stuff is, that's courtesy. You're actually cutting up so you don't cause the drain to clog.
Right. You're doing that out of necessity
in the shower.
because your poop's apparently
You're right. This is more akin to like instead of a poop knife, I reach my hand in and I just grab it and squeeze.
I would rather you tell me that you cut poop than poop in the shower.
Or a poop, like worse,
A poop glove.
A poop squisher glove.
It'd be like instead of cutting it with a knife, you'd like take it out and put it in a bag and put it in the trash. Like that's worse. Like the poop knife is like you said, a courtesy, and it's the least probably
even
disgusting
taking the
way to
poop
do
out
that.
of the toilet and putting it in a bag is slightly a courtesy more than stomping it down a drain. Waffle stomping your poop down a drain.
Why are you saving your poop for the shower? Poop in the toilet.
Right,
There's a toilet right there.
That guy has to shower probably in the same shower.
So does probably company that comes over. Yep.
Poop
so he's been
all over the floor. There's water just rinsing it down isn't going to sanitize
just standing
it.
in
Hopefully
poop
she
bacteria
cleans it
all the time.
Hopefully she cleans her shower consistently with like antibacterial.
What happens when he does his monthly lick the drain test? Because don't you guys do that?
Yep.
Now you get so there's poop on there. Is it clean?
The story is not even funny. It's like disturbing.
I know. That's why I didn't read it very funny. I read it.
I want to know what the comments.
Serious.
I want to know.
I think
what
my
the
mouth was just open the whole time in shock and disgust.
A lot of the comments talked about like right away. It was like this is clearly written for Reddit. Like this is like this needs to be on Reddit. A lot of people were like, you have to leave her. A lot of people were disgusted talking about the pipes. Like all she's doing is clogging the pipes up. It's just going to be like this major problem soon.
If I was her husband, I would be like, this is not funny. You need to stop this. And if you continue this, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, like I'm going to leave you.
Right.
Wow.
Like you need to stop doing that. It's
Your
not
son
funny.
violent, Natalie. We're going to have a problem.
This is going to be like
I'm going to be waffle stomping your face down
sex
the
doll
drain.
pooping in the shower.
It's
You can buy a sex doll.
It's so unsanitary.
Natalie's so angry at this.
It's disgusting.
You're right. If I found out
Like-
Natalie, I kind of want to find out that Natalie's tamping poop down the drain. So
then you can buy a
then I can
sex
just buy the
doll. Let me
sex
just
doll
tell you this.
without even asking.
I am the most...
Her fingers in the
say
air.
You
Her
only
fingers in
poop
the air.
in toilet.
Her
How do
fingers
I
in the
say
air like a
this?
dictator.
I am the cleanest person in this entire family. And when it comes to that stuff.
What do you think about
When
that?
it comes to poop,
Well, just like
I would say
general-
that we are the same when it comes to going to the bathroom. Why? This is not a declaration you can make on the show that you're cleaner than me going to the bathroom.
I guess I
I'm the
don't know.
cleanest person in the
I guess I
house
don't
when it
know.
comes to tamping poop down the
I'm
drain in the
I'm
shower.
more thinking about like the kids.
Yeah, well, there's a...
You
Watch
are cleaner than an 8-year-old.
Yeah,
Good.
Kids do some gross things.
They better not poop in the drain.
Holy shit.
They don't
Right, I can
poop
say
in
that.
the drain. Yep.
Back in the golden ages of 2019, but what feels more like the 1950s, a game called Planet Unknown came to Kickstarter. It funded quickly and 78 years later arrived. A bit bloated and clumsy like me, but also charming and hung like a lazy Susan, also like me. Planet Unknown is a polyomino game where players draft tiles and place them on their planet board, moving up tracks on their adjacent track board, sending a land rover to collect and clean up meteorites, vying for endgame gold cards, unlocking technologies, and increasing civilization. The game is centered around playing polyomino tiles, and they are all arranged inside of this lazy Susan. There's an inner and an outer ring in this Lazy Susan that is all contained with tiles. Each turn, the active player rotates the Lazy Susan wherever they want to, and then takes one of those two tiles on either the inner ring or the outer ring that's aligned with them. Then, every other player takes one of the two tiles that's aligned with them. So everyone plays on everyone else's turn. It's just that the active player is the one that gets to choose where the tiles go. In a two-player game, and I think a solo game too, Jeff was mentioning, there's no choosing. You just rotate the Susan one spot.
The Susan.
The Susan.
After players draft their tile, they place it on their board, adjacent to any other tile already on their board. Each tile has two different icons on it. And so once the tile's placed, there are tracks on another player board that each player has in front of them associated with these icons. So basically, let's say the tile I play has a green icon and a black icon on it. So I move up one on the green track and one on the black track. Every so often, there are things on those tracks that you will pass that give you things like points or single tiles or civilization cards or unlocking technologies or the ability to move your land rover. At the end of the game, you score points for every row and every column that you have fully filled with tiles. Some of the tiles have meteorite icons on them, and when they come out, you place a meteor token on them. If these tokens aren't cleared away by the end of the game, they negate points in the row and column that they're in. So the game is essentially placing tiles, moving up tracks, clearing meteorites, and trying to score the most points possible. There are so many player boards with very asymmetric layouts, a multitude of different technologies, and different player powers. The game is really replayable and very variable. So things I like.
A
like
bowl.
That? You like that one? Very variable. This has potential to be my favorite polyomino game of all time.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's coming from the polyomino man who's played every polyomino game in the history of polyomino games.
Polyomino king. I have my penis is a polyomino shape at this point.
Yep, it's a Cleveland Z.
It is
Hopefully
a Cleveland
it's the 4 straight one.
No, it's the Cleveland Z.
It's not.
Hopefully, it's the square.
It's not the hero. I love the feel of this game. Taking a tile on everyone's turn is so great. The 0 downtime thing is amazing. Simultaneous play is something I really love in games, and this one plays so smoothly. You always feel like you're accomplishing something. There are very few turns where nothing happens for you or you've gone nowhere. And when those turns do happen, few and far between, wait 30 seconds and another turn's right there. Yep. The different player boards and almost infinite replayability of this game is really exciting. I genuinely want to play every one of them and feel how different they make the gameplay. The way the game plays, though, I think is the best part. It just works really well. You take a tile, you figure out where it goes, then you move up on some tracks and do it all over again until it ends. It's very simple. There's basically 0 setup. You just put the Susan in the middle of the table, choose your player boards, figure out the end game scoring cards, and away you go. It's very, very quick. Things I didn't like. I'm not sure about this yet. We've only played the starter boards, but I'm a little bit worried, and Jeff can talk about this when he talks about it because he has a different opinion, but I'm worried that the scoring isn't going to necessarily be super variable if you play on the starter boards. Natalie and I tied in almost every scoring category, and the reason is because those tracks you go up are ancillary. You don't have to do anything other than play the game to move up those tracks. And so every player moves up 2 tracks every single turn. So by the end of the game, everyone is more or less the same level on the tracks, give or take the colors. So I think if the other boards weren't in the game, this would possibly get stale quicker. Also, in a 2-player game, as I mentioned, you're only turning the Susan once instead of picking wherever you want to. So I think that could be another reason, another way to go up maybe tracks you want more instead of just, I have to take whatever I get.
Or even just how you place the tiles on the board, because we're basically both of us are getting the choice of the same tiles the same amount of times, where we could pick one tile a bunch of times.
We could pick the same tile. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you get the choice of 2, but you're right. You definitely would have more. Yeah. But there are a bevy of these additional player boards and player powers and everything, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Another issue I had is the production is a little bit lackluster. All of my boards are warped. The quality of the cardstock is not very high, and it kind of seems like I have a used copy. That's what it feels like. I opened it up, and I took it out, and I was like, this all just feels sort of worn and dusty. It's really strange. It just feels like it's new. It's brand new, but it kind of feels like it's not. It's weird. Overall, though, I don't care about that. The game is incredible. It plays smoothly, easily, and whether going up the tracks is ancillary or not, it's fun. It's fun to do that. Feeling like you are constantly progressing all game is something I really, really enjoy. I enjoyed this game immensely. I think with a couple more plays on those other boards, this could be my favorite polyomino game that there is. We go clockwise, Natalie. What do you think?
Natalie.
Yeah, this game, I also loved this game. Similar reasons. I love tracks. Going up all the tracks was fun. And even I liked all of the, some of them, the water one was basically just points or whatever. But the rover track was a hot track. The tech track gives you these special powers, which was exciting to try to get to those so you can do those powers. Then there was that other track that gave you cards that gave you special things. So it was most of them were really cool. Had really cool benefits. And then even sometimes when you'd go up on the tracks, sometimes it would let you go up for free on any other track. And so I had a few cool turns where I went up on this track and it let me go up on another track, which let me go up on another track, and then I got all this stuff that turn, and that was really fun. I'm also very excited about the different boards, and I would have played it again right away, and I'm excited just like you to try it all out, because another good thing about this game is, it's one of those games we can just pull out, setup isn't very big, and and it doesn't take that long. It didn't take us that long.
No, super quick. Well, because
max is 70 minutes.
There's no downtime.
There's no way it took us 70 minutes to play this game with 2 players.
True.
But at the same time, when you're with 4 players, you're all still playing at the same time for the most part.
I'd also be interested in trying the main boards again without playing the rule in a 2-player game where you only go one at a time. I think it'd be fun to just like put it wherever you want.
I'm curious why in a 2-player game you don't play with those normal rules.
The only thing the rulebook says is it makes it easier to plan. That's the only thing the rulebook says. I just don't understand
why does a 2-player game need to be easier to plan, but not like a 3-player.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the part I don't
get that either.
I kind of want to like play that just to see like, oh yeah, this makes a difference. It's worse, or it doesn't really matter, or you know what? I'm just curious to see.
I'm guessing. Here's what I'm guessing. This is just as a guess. In a 3-player game, 3 turns go by, and you only get to choose once.
Yeah.
In a 2-player game, you're getting to choose every other turn. Maybe they thought that was too much.
Too much. Like too easy?
Yeah, like
okay,
you know what I mean? Where in a more multiplayer game, you're beholden to whatever the active player is picking, and you just have to deal with it. Where in a 2-player game, you're not dealing with it as much.
But you
maybe
never get to choose.
Yeah, that other way, right? You never get to choose. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm sure they did it for some reason.
Let's call Adam.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure they did it for some reason.
I also think this is like a really good like game that plays up to 6 players. You know, like sometimes we have 6 players at game nights, and we're like, guess we're just playing party games. But this feels like a game that would be like really fun.
But also a game nons can just get.
Yeah, because it's not a difficult rule explanation. And I agree. It was really fun. The quality of the components did not bother me at all, probably because I was having fun, so I didn't even care or notice, honestly. I also think that I also really like the rovers. I think that part of the game is really fun. Because that's like a tension, like a tense part of the game where like
that's true.
You're like, oh, I got to get up on this track so I can move these rovers to get rid of these meteorites and these other things that could potentially give you negative points or not give you points, and so like you're just like
not
in the middle of
those
doing all that stuff.
Yeah, you could get completely screwed.
You could lose up to 6 points not getting it.
Yeah,
you have to do it.
So that part's really fun. On top,
plus they give you points.
The point is like it's not just like placing polyominoes and going up on tracks. Like that's like I'd say like the third big component of the gameplay, and I liked all of it a lot.
Awesome. What about you, man?
Okay, let me start with some bullshit.
Okay.
This game was supposed to deliver in October of 2020. We are now talking about this in April, almost May of 2022.
It took forever.
I actually logged my other play online, and it was March 2020.
Wow.
And for what is in that box, that is bullshit. So I'm calling them out. Production value is not good.
Yeah, doesn't it feel used?
It does not feel like
it feels used.
Kickstarter deluxe edition of anything, especially one that took 2.5 years
was it because of COVID?
For you to get to me. Like
maybe.
You had 2.5 years to make this game, and the Lazy Susan doesn't really fit in the box.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
It doesn't.
It is like a centimeter up, so it lifts the box a little bit. It's also a little bit too wide. I'm like, you had a lot of time to make this game feel better.
My box has indents in the sides, and it's bowed out.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that is, I'll just call it a mild annoyance, right? I was annoyed that it took so long. I was annoyed that when I got it, it was the box still lifted, and it just that bugged me.
Yeah, you were hoping it would be a perfect production.
The boards are a little too thin.
Yeah,
they're going to warp.
Oh, mine are already warped.
This is a big box. It's a bigger box. It's the side, like the sideways size of like a Caverna, but it's as big as as wide as Ticket to Ride, right? It's a big
huge
box in a collection. So I would have liked that to just be better. Here's something. I backed this game before my child could speak or walk, and now he is almost 3.
I mean, I will say that's the way Kickstarter goes sometimes. I have 5 projects that I backed before that still haven't shipped.
Whoa.
I have 4 projects that I backed before that showed up.
Yeah, I have
after that.
Well, I have a ton that after that showed up too. But I guess what I mean is it's not like the only game.
But,
it's not like the worst example.
We always talk about the Shivers. The Shivers is taking a long time.
That's taking
the
forever.
The production
too.
quality of the Shivers is going to be better.
Oh my god, it better be. That game looks so great.
This is like nitpicking because I'll
say this. I remember a time. It was last year, maybe around this time. I remember Jeff was like, I don't even care anymore about Planet Unknown.
I was like,
he was like, I don't even care.
Because they keep sending updates of these pictures, and I'm like, that doesn't what am I getting out of this, right?
Is yours like mine? Does yours kind of like feel like a used copy?
Yeah, like
it's like
because
dusty
the
and
things are thinner, like you kind of see a little bit of wear along.
Yeah,
the
it's
edges.
like already wearing before I even got it.
I think it really feels like it's wearing because of the box situation. It's just like
no, I think the card stock they used is
and I don't know anything about fulfilling a Kickstarter. Like, it's annoying. The game was $70, so that's...
Plus, what is this Adam's Apple?
Right. Like, maybe it's their first big...
They probably just don't have the money,
so,
is my guess.
For all that annoyance, I will probably say that this is or will be my favorite polyomino game.
Hell yeah.
One that I will reach for all the time.
Yeah,
But all the annoyance, they're lucky the game is
They're
great.
lucky the game is
like
good because I'd have fucking blown it up.
It is so
I
good.
started angry. I'm like, I'm not forgiving
you. started angry a year ago.
Yeah, and it's not like I backed it in October of 2020. It was supposed to be here in October of 2020.
Yeah.
My child was like, he wasn't even born. He might not have been born when I backed. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
So you're saying it won you over?
It did. I'm not forgiving anyone of the production quality or anything like that. But I'm not forgiving one. But I think the game is great. I think it so we played. I picked it on my game night a couple weeks ago. I picked it. We played the base game. It was 3 of us. We just played regular planet, regular tracks. And then immediately I was like, we're playing again. So all we did was flip over our tracks and our planet. And we played whatever planet was there.
That's how I knew Jeff liked the game. That's how I knew.
And my
he played
planet
it twice
had,
back to back.
So now each planet has some restriction about placing tiles or where you can go. Dave actually had what I thought was maybe the coolest planet. He had the Tetris planet. So every time he placed a tile, he had to be able to slide it in from one way or the other.
Oh, cool.
So like, how cool is that?
Yeah, that's cool.
There's some where you have to cover certain spaces. I had to all of my tiles had to be anchored because in the middle was
the ring. That's
right?
my board.
Yeah.
So I had
my
the ring had to be anchored to it.
You can't just place the tile in the ring.
Yeah.
It has to be outside
and
of the ring.
And then we flipped over our track board. So now everybody's tracks is different. So you get bonuses in different ways.
And you can mix and match those too.
Exactly. So now you have 8 boards and 8 planets that you can mix and match. That's cool. Now I might want to go up on the green one all the time. So if I'm playing, I'm like, I'm going to start, whenever I spin it, I'm going to pick a green one because I can go up on that. And mine was kind of cool where my green track was shorter, but I could only move it if I extended my green land. So if I just placed a green tile, I didn't get to do it. But if I made a green land I already had bigger, I then got to move up, and my track was shorter, and then I got to pick bonuses as I went.
This makes it so much more
cool.
strategic.
And also, when you move up on, I don't know if it's a tech track or whatever, you got different powers as you moved up.
Yeah, all the tech
and
tracks
that interacts with the planet differently, no matter what you do. So that was amazing. So
cool.
Playing it just back to back, I was like, because the base game, like you said, if it was just that, I'd have been really angry at the Kickstarter. I would have been selling it now because it would have felt like, all right, I'm going to play this 5 times. I'm never going to want to play it again.
Yeah, for sure.
But I want to play it 50 times because I want to try to do it with all these different puzzly sort of things.
There's the reverse board of mine had 4 rovers. So you start with 4 rovers, which is cool. But every rover, when you collect a meteorite, you have to then deliver it to a rover icon.
Dave had that with his Tetris board.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You had to deliver it to one of the icons,
right,
but then there was a power
4
that let you do something, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just so cool.
Yeah, so I would recommend if you find this game or play this game, I would recommend playing the standard boards first. Play that first. Get a hang of the game, how the thing works, Lazy Susan, and then I would play it immediately. I would play it right after and be like, flip this over, let's play. I think the rules are simple and straightforward. It's probably be taught in 10 minutes.
It's quick. It's so quick.
And the Lazy Susan, I like. So Ryan was mentioning that there's 2 tiles you have an opportunity of getting. You can take the middle of the Lazy Susan out and you spin it before the game is, so you don't have the same pair of tiles on the same spot. So I like that a lot. That changes I have the 2, 1, and the L. Like you don't have that all the time. You can spin that around. Right. The Lazy Susan is still kind of cheap feeling, but
it's chintzy. Yeah. Well, I'm guessing this. You know what it reminds me of, Jeff? It kind of reminds me of the original printing of Underwater Cities with
those boards were cheap.
Yeah, like the production of that game completely was cheap.
Yeah.
Luckily, it wasn't a Kickstarter. So you didn't have those butthurt feelings of, okay, it's been 3 years and this is what I get.
Right, yeah.
But that's the kind of production it feels like in Planet Unknown. It feels like that first printing of Underwater Cities where the game is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's like, what did they must not have had money.
Right.
They're cutting corners somewhere.
Thankfully, the tracks are dual layered, so you can actually move up on the tracks. If that was just a flat thing, that'd be annoying because a table bump could slide it.
But again, mine are warped, man.
Yeah, I had to do some that tense folding that you do.
Yeah, don't break.
Because the moment you put just slightly too much, you get that little, and then it makes everyone cry.
Yep.
I do think that being able to choose the commander, choose your 2, made the game more fun for me instead of just the rotating with 2 players. I didn't know that's how 2 players went.
Yep.
The 1 player I get, you're trying to beat the game so you can plan out. And 1 player, it's like if I could just pick every tile that I would do that.
Yeah, right. You would just easily win.
But I liked, even thinking about if you want to play the game like this, going, all right, these 2 tiles have meteors on them. I'm going to send them both over to Dave. I'm going to send them both to Dave because he now has to put a meteorite on his thing. Yeah. Yes, it might give him a third of a point later, but maybe it's close to the end of the game. Mm-hmm. He has to put it somewhere, and now that's going to lose him 3 points. If you want to play the game like that, when you look around, you can do that.
Yeah, see, that's nothing we could ever even
think
of
I know
to do.
that Ryan needs to move up on the red track, so if he keeps moving on the red track, I'm going to send him a tile that doesn't have red. Yeah. And you can play other people with that too, or you can just say, this is what I need. My special asymmetric board needs to go up on the tech track because now I get 2 spots or I get 2 cards or something, right?
Yeah.
So I'm only going to keep taking those every time.
Right.
So I like having that decision, but also you need the game to let someone else take your fate too, because you don't want to keep just picking. If you just picked your tiles over and over again, that's not fun. But waiting for the tenseness of Dave spinning that thing around and being like, maybe this one. And then you're like,
that one.
Yes, put it there. And then he's like, oh, this one's better. I'm like, no, not that one. I do like that. The middle tiles are smaller and the outer tiles are a little bigger, so you're never screwed with some giant tile that might mess you up.
Right.
It also might be really beneficial to take smaller tiles because then you have more room on your board. Mm-hmm. But the bigger tiles might fill in those spaces. So I just thought, I think it's great. I think it's I think it's in the great category. The puzzle is just good and it's
I think it has potential to be the best polyomino game there is on the market.
Agree.
Yeah, and so even I can ignore the production quality things. I actually don't mind the art on the planets and on the tiles.
Yeah, the artwork's good.
The art, I think
the artwork is good.
I can excuse
the box
everything
looks nice
else.
too. It's a nice looking box.
Yeah, I'm excusing everything else because the game lived up, and I was going in bitter and upset with the game.
You were mad,
and I went in and I played it twice, and I
lived up to your
would
name.
have I would have played it again after that.
Yeah,
if I felt like we had enough time.
Us too. We were like, let's do this, but now we got to play other stuff.
Yeah, so I would say
great one.
I would say I would be interested if you guys play it with 2 if you decide to spin it.
We're gonna try it again and spin it.
Happens.
Yeah, because then you can focus on the track maybe you need a little more and definitely flip the boards
Plus,
over.
that's just fun to be able to be like, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind
flip
of
the boards over. Definitely, I wouldn't play with the base. I don't think ever again.
Yeah.
If you played the game once, I would never play with the base unless you're playing with new people.
I agree.
I don't know what it would feel like with 6. Because now you're going a long time without being able to pick a tile, but that's a new challenge, right? That's a new thing of
well, then it kind of feels more like, I guess, the just rotating. Although you just literally have to take whatever you're given.
Yeah.
Where in the 2-player game, you can at least be like, okay, I'll get this one. The next turn, I'm going to get one of those.
Yeah.
The next turn, I'm going to get,
especially at the end when I ran out of space quicker than Ryan. I was like, okay, I have 2 more turns before, because I can see exactly what my options are.
Right.
know.
So she's like, I'm going to end it in 2 turns.
I can take
basically.
this, I can take that, and then I won't be able to take either one of those. So I plan my next 3 turns.
Another thing I want to mention. Oh, did you want to say something, Jeff?
I was just going to say something with that. When we ended our game where I was running out in our first game, I had very little tiles I could fit, and it was Bill's turn. He was like, well, now my choice is what if Bill wants 2 more tiles? If he picks something that I can't pick, the game ends.
Right.
So he on his turn purposely went for one that wasn't optimal for him, so I would then have to place a tile, so he would then get another tile.
Turn.
Right,
Okay.
and that I think that's even something to think about toward the end of the game. I like that.
That's true.
Another thing I want to say in its favor is I talked about the technologies and the civilization cards, and what I like so much about those is in a lot of games, technologies they're always awesome. Technologies are always really cool, but sometimes they're tricky or you have to remember them. In this game, they're so simple. So on the main board, anyway, the first technology is when you get up to this first technology, you unlock it. It's basically you get to ignore the adjacency placing rule.
Yep, you just place
so you can just place it wherever the hell you want to, which is awesome. It's nothing you forget. It's right there. It's not something you have to be like, what does that do again for me? All the technologies are like that on the intro board. And the civilization cards are the same thing. When you go up on the civilization track and you basically get up to a certain point where you can take cards, you just look at these cards and they're either immediate, they happen right now, or they're end game scoring cards. There's only a few of them and you look at them and they're all good.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, which one do I want? Okay, I'll take this one. Boom. And that gets me, now I get to go up 2 on this track. Boom. And that's it. But it's good. It's really good. It's really simple. And I'm so happy they put it in there. There's also an event deck we haven't played with yet.
We did not play with that
So
yet.
there's an event deck in there where every round you just flip over a card and it just basically does something to you. Probably bad, but you never know.
Yeah, I think they range from not great to bad.
Right.
Like, that's kind of the...
Yeah.
Right. So there's a bunch of... The box comes with a lot of ways to make the game replayable and variable. Yeah. And it's amazing. That part of it, I think, is amazing. Yeah. I'm very pleasantly surprised they did all of that, because the game is so simple. Like Jeff said, you play on those intro boards. He doesn't ever want to play on those again. I would play on it again, but I can see definitely you don't want to play on them a lot. If it was just that, no other boards, no event deck, no like other ways to play the game, you'd play it 5 times and you might not play it again.
You could even just play with a different trackboard and keep the base planet.
Yeah.
Right? You can do that.
You can mix and match them
now I'm only thinking of one new set of rules or one new set of things instead of 2.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, it's
very good game. So that is Planet Unknown by Adam's Apple Games. Never heard of Adam's Apple Games. I wonder if this is like
could be their first.
Yeah.
Adam Rayberg. He's the Adam and Adam Rayberg. Oh. Poor Ryan Lambert.
You're right.
Even get a
Ryan,
maybe he's the Apple.
He's the Apple. Maybe Apple's his middle name. Ryan Apple Lambert. What do you got, Jeff?
Okay, I have a game. I have a game called Witchstone.
Okay.
Not like which one you choose.
Not like which is
a
it?
witch. Like
like
the stone of a witch.
Yeah, the stone
like stoner.
of a witch.
A witch. Burner.
A small rock.
Very small rocks. A duck.
Natalie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
An apple. It's
Monty Python
and the Holy Grail.
Oh.
Yep. Okay, so this game is called Witchstone. It's by R&R Games. This was a game that was high on my list at Gen Con last year, and R&R didn't show up to Gen Con.
Right.
So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm never going to get it. But Dave got it.
Ooh, Dave.
And I was excited because this game is by the doctor.
Dr. Knizia.
Reiner Knizia made this game, and Martino, this last name's tough. Chia. And he has made games that we like, a lot of stuff we don't know, but Deckscape and Wonderbook have been kind of his.
Haven't heard of Wonderbook.
Wonderbook is that I know you've heard of it because you saw it at Gen Con. You like unfold the board, it's like a gigantic
and then it comes out. We almost bought that.
Oh yeah. We tested it out.
Yeah, so those are his games, but with the doctors, when Reiner Knizia's name is on a box, everyone pays attention to it.
Shit.
Right. Okay, so in Witchstone, you are doing witch stuff.
Okay.
Doing witch stuff.
Sounds great.
Right. This is a theme you don't really know. Like it's a
Knizia doesn't really play.
There's not really a theme in this. So each player begins with their own personal player board cauldron.
Ooh, I like that. A cauldron.
In the cauldron, you're made up of like hex spaces, connecting hex spaces, okay? Yeah. The main board is like a giant board. In the middle is this crystal ball that has a city in it. Again, trying to like fit the theme. You have a big witch on there. You pick like your starting spot. And then around that big crystal ball are a bunch of like little mini games. Think of like Trajan, where the board is there and there's a bunch of little mini games.
Cool. Okay?
Each player also starts with a set of 15 domino hex tiles.
Ooh, dominoes. Hex tiles that are dominoes.
So it could be dominoes, but they made them hexes so you have more connecting sides.
Yeah.
And they're cut in half. Well, they're not cut in half. There's a line, and there's a symbol on each of the hex sides.
Right,
So there might
like
be
a
a crystal on one and a wand on the other one. Right?
Sure.
So what you do on your turn is you take one of those hex tiles and you place it in your cauldron. And then you take the associated actions of the icons on the tile that you placed.
Okay.
You also get a very cool bonus, and you get to do that action as many times as you have created a cluster of that same actions in the cauldron. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, to me it does. I don't know if it makes sense to everybody out there.
Yeah, so there's like, let's say there's a crystal and a wand, and I place it down there, and that crystal is adjacent to 3 other crystals. I get to take the crystal action 3 times, and that wand is adjacent to 2 wands. I get to take those wand actions, right? So early on, you're kind of taking single actions. You might get a double, but then like later, you're like, I can take 6. If I put it here, I get 6 of these, and that's really cool. That's where this
that sounds like something I'd love.
Like combo-tastic.
Yeah, that sounds like everything.
Getting a little.
I love it. Selena Gomez. I got it. We'll be right back.
Ryan's back. Natalie has
changed her stance on whether cheating is. Yeah.
Or we're back, and Ryan goes, I don't want a sex doll. Natalie has talked to me, and I decided I do
Natalie
not need...
thinks, and I agree, that having a sex doll is really just debased and terrible.
So the actions you can do are fairly simple for what you're doing. So there's this one, the big crystal ball is kind of like you're connecting roads or paths. You're using these gems. Okay, think of like on a really basic scale, like Ticket to Ride. You do this thing, you get 3 gem actions, you put them on there, you try to connect place to place. You can move these little witches around your board, and the witches move and they collect different tiles. The tiles let you do actions like right then and there. So you might have the witch action to pick up the crystal tile, and then you can do the crystal action.
Nice.
And that crystal action might make you do something else, and then you can keep going. There is this little tracker that we had to use a couple times where it's like, all right, how many actions do I have? How many have I done? Because you might be interrupted between actions doing other things. Or like, all right, I have 6 of these move actions, and you can like kind of slide it down to go, all right, how many have I used? How many have not? To try to like keep track of all of these things, because there's a lot of like things just piling on top of each other.
Yeah.
There's this also circle in the corner that you move around and gain stuff. That's one of the little mini games. You can move up a track, which gets you bonuses and scorings. In your cauldron, there are these crystals that you want to move off, and once they move off, they go shoot into a different direction. That lets you do an action, and you put it on the main board. There are end game bonus cards that you can claim. So those are all like the games. There's like 6 games that you kind of are playing, all with this action selection mechanic of the domino hex tiles.
Wow.
So you keep going for 11 rounds. So you start with 15 of these tiles. You have 5 that are like in your hand that you can place. So
what
you
are they
place
made of?
One. They're cardboard.
Oh, okay. Bakelite would have been sweet.
I know, that would have been sweet. So you have 5 behind your screen that you then play 1 into your cauldron, and then you draw 1 up, and then you'll end up you'll play 11 of them. So there'll be 4 left over that you don't play.
Got it.
Let me tell you what I think.
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay.
I feel like there was a bet. Someone called Reiner Knizia and was like, hey,
Reiner, doctor.
Reiner, it's me, Jeff.
It's Jeff.
It's me, Jeff Madigan. I need you to make a Steffenfeld game.
Is that what it feels like?
And he was like,
I can do that.
I can do that.
Who the fuck is Steffenfeld?
It's like he was like,
that
I'm
new
gonna
kid?
try to out Steffenfeld.
that kid, that new young buck.
Who's that guy? And he was like, okay, I'll do that. And then he made this game, and it feels like Trajan and Bonfire.
That sounds like a compliment.
Really?
It feels like, I think it's a compliment. I really like this game. It exceeded my expectations, and I also went into it like, I'm ready for this game.
Interesting.
I don't think, if I didn't tell you the designer and I just set it up and played it, and you've played so many games before, you'd be like,
Feld.
this is a Feld game.
Wow.
And there's lots of discussion on Board Game Geek, and Dave and I were talking a lot about it, of like, people were asking like, how much of this game is Knizia? How much of this game is this
The
other guy? Because people were talking about like, this feels like a Feld game. This feels like Trajan. It feels like.
Are they saying it in like a rip-offy way?
No, in an okay way.
Okay.
And a lot of people were talking of like, oh, the Cauldron kind of feels like Ingenious, like, you know how you're
like
kind
Ingenious.
of right?
Yeah,
you're
matching
kind of playing
the-
that
matching
game.
the
You want to
things.
match
Yep.
the symbols. So like that, maybe that's his. But these mini games felt like, okay, because I think of Trajan and Bonfire, where in Bonfire I'm taking those tiles, and where I place those tiles, get me those things, and then I can take those. I turn those tiles in to take the action, right?
Yeah, right.
The actions themselves aren't overly exciting. Nothing is exciting about moving in a circle, but it's exciting to move in a circle and then be able to do something else, and then be able to move up that track. The exciting part is, how do you take those actions? The action selection was the fun part of the game, to then do the mini games and have all those like super combo-tastic turns where everything was just like building and building and building and building.
And this is Dave's?
Yeah.
So he's not a big Feld fan, huh?
He liked it a lot.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And
Does he like Trajan?
I don't know if he's played Trajan.
It seems like he
I feel
wouldn't.
like he didn't like
It
Bonfire
is also-
if he even played that.
So if we're thinking of weight, it is lighter than Trajan. It is lighter
okay.
than Bonfire.
Also, Dave's
Maybe
a theme
that's why.
guy too.
Yeah.
I could see
okay.
Witchstone
So maybe the
having a
witch
better
being
theme
cool.
than Trajan.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's what it felt like to me, and I'm not saying that one's replacing the other one, because I felt like Witchstone was also
That's
shorter.
good, though, huh?
We played
you said it was
Witchstone in
lighter.
an hour and a half, which is great because Bonfire takes 2, Trajan takes 2.
Yeah.
Trajan we could play.
Did it feel as
Trajan
heavy as
quicker.
those two?
No, it was definitely lighter than those two for
Okay.
sure. So if I'm directly comparing the two, the Rondell, Moncala, Rancala, Monicala, that in
Monty
Trajan
Python.
is my favorite action selection I've ever
Method?
played.
Yeah.
Because you have so much more control than like a random tile flip, and now
Yep.
you have 5 to pick from.
Yep.
The Trajan mechanic, that is tough to master, but I love trying it, right? I'm trying to set up the next 4 or 5 turns. You don't necessarily know that because a new tile might change things. There is more... and then with Bonfire, what I did like about Bonfire more is your personal board with Bonfire. I don't know if you remember this, where you're kind of moving your little Yoda-looking
for
dude,
sure. Yep,
and he's
around
then
that
going into score.
half moon,
That
yeah.
is a harder puzzle to figure out. That is a harder
That's
mini
tricky
game.
to do. That whole game is tricky to me.
Yeah. So there are some more tricky things in these other games. So if I want a heavier game that feels like this, I'm going to go with Trajan and Bonfire.
Yeah.
But if I want to play a game in an hour and a half that has that similar feel, I would pick this all the time. I think Dave's going to pick this a lot. I think he likes it a lot. The fun is the combo-tastic turns.
Hell
so it's like
so fun.
That sounds
you can sit there
great.
and just watch someone, and if you like watching other people go like, oh, I can do this. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm doing this. If I move this crystal here, then it makes me move this crystal onto that spot, and now I get to move up on the wand track twice.
Yes,
and
that sounds so good.
Yeah, and now I'm first on the wand track, and if I'm first on the wand track, I get to do this special thing.
Oh, I want
and
this.
it's just like
I want to play this.
It is so cool to do that. But then there are, which it makes the game go a little quicker. There are turns where you're just like, okay, I get to do this twice and this once, and you just do it. And then you move on, right? But while people are taking their combo-tastic turns, you are trying to figure out what to place next. It's not light enough where you are going to go, I know exactly what I'm going to do for the next 5 turns. This is boring watching everyone else take their turns.
Yeah.
And there's enough player interaction on the main board, because that's what I think. Bonfire doesn't have a ton of player interaction. You might get to a card first or whatever.
Sure.
But you get bonuses for being first on tracks. You get bonuses for going to areas first as you're moving your witch around. You want to interact with people on the board. So Ryan doing something first means that I might change my plan and what tile I play on my turn.
Right.
So thinking about that in the moment helps some of the downtime. Because if you're taking... Natalie could have 11 actions, like where she's like, I can do 6, and then this lets me do 3 more, and now I haven't even done my second action on my second tile.
That's so cool,
yet.
yeah.
So you can be sitting there and be like, okay, Natalie's cruising. But again, the games are simple enough where it doesn't take a ton of time.
And how many does this play? 4?
It plays 4, and we played at 3. And I would say, like, so here are some downsides. The most annoying parts, there's these point cards that there's 6 of them. So if you take the card action, you don't get 6 cards. You just get to pick from 6. If those happen to like not be working for what you're doing and you take that action, you're kind of taking a card that gets you 1 point instead of like 7. That kind of sucks. Or if someone takes them in front of you, or it happens to be like, oh, that's the perfect card, and all of a sudden it's 3-way and I'm not going to be able to get it on my turn. So that can be annoying. Instead of having like direct plans of points, you can luck into some cards. Sure. There's also can be frustrating with. So there's this wand track where being first on this wand track will get you more benefits. So if you're first at the end of your movement, you get a benefit on the tile or on that track.
Okay.
If I didn't see any of those wand actions in like my first 6 pulls. So I wasn't even competing on that track while they were moving up.
Oh.
But the flip side of that is like I was moving around that circle thing more than they were at the beginning.
Sure, because they're doing the wand track.
So there is a give and take there.
But I can see how that would feel like why am I not doing that?
Yeah, like, I want to move up there. And I can't. I like physically can't. So that was a little bit of a downside, but you're doing other things, and I don't know how that really mattered in the end. Bill like crushed us, but it was. If you like a Steffenfeld feeling game, and you like just combo,
you got every Steffenfeld game. You just need more Feld.
Yeah, if you
get this,
if you went in the comments and looked at the comments, I think that people are agreeing with me that it feels like that type of game. It's not going to feel like a Burgundy, or it's not going to feel like. What's the other one? Carpe Diem.
Yeah.
And some of these bigger, but it feels like Trajan. It feels like Bonfire. It's a little lighter and plays quicker.
The art is great,
and the
player boards are
good.
really. Cool.
I was very, very impressed. This is one that I will be happy to play anytime Dave picks it. I might even pick it when it's his my night. I might pick it for.
You might go full Joe and just buy it yourself.
Just buy it myself. I need this copy too.
You gotta have one too.
But man, that's a winner. So I'm like really happy with the 2 games. Like Planet Unknown, I think is great. Witchstone is getting there. I think. I'd like to play it again and just do something different. And see how that
try
worked.
a different method. I want to play that. That sounds.
Yeah,
fun.
I think you would play it and you'd instantly be like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like,
oh man,
I think some of the stuff
Action
in
chaining
Bonfire
is the greatest.
that you didn't like were some of the fiddliness of like, when can I move my guy into this spot? The games themselves in Bonfire were a little harder to comprehend of like how many actions you got. But these are very simple of like, I got 6 of these actions. It's basically like you take 6 of those or you move it 6 times. You do, like, there was no like, oh, this costs this many.
Yeah.
I think it's a big winner.
Sweet. Witchstone.
Witchstone.
WITCH.
Yes.
Stone. All one word, I think. Awesome. Very cool. So we talk all the time about Vital Lacerda games around here. His games are like nothing else out there. They're extremely complex, gorgeous, highly thematic. So when Mercado de Lisboa came to Kickstarter a couple years ago and was billed as one of his lighter games, I was really intrigued. The game's essentially what Patchwork is to A Feast for Odin, where a mechanism from a huge game was taken to make a separate, smaller game. In Mercado de Lisboa, the entire game is the city building portion of Lisboa. Players are placing market stalls, restaurants, and customers onto the market square to collect the most money and win the game. The market square is laid out in this 5x5 grid, and each spot can contain market stall tiles in one of 5 different foods: fish, meat, tomatoes, flowers, and grapes. Well, I guess flowers isn't a food. Or restaurants that are associated with those market stalls: sushi, burger joints, pizzerias, tea houses, and wineries. You want to place the restaurants adjacent to the market stalls of the same type to earn the most money. Speaking of money, you earn money when you place the customer tiles. You place these tiles outside the perimeter of the 5x5 grid, and each customer has food types they want associated with them. So let's say you place a customer tile with a fish on it in the same row or column as a market stall that has fish. They will essentially purchase the fish from you, and that equates to income that's also victory points. At the end of the game, whoever has the most money wins. Now, things I liked about this one. The production of this game is off the charts good. The tiles are chunky. The board is super clean and beautiful. It's just fun and satisfying to handle all the components. The game is also very, very quick. The box actually says takes 5 minutes to learn and 35 minutes to play or something like that. And it's right. It's basically a filler plus, and that's really good for it because if it went on much longer, I don't think it would be fun. It has a really good tense feel to it, as you need to try and squeeze out the most money you can before the game ends. It's very simple to learn, yet really tricky to know what to do and perform well. You basically are trying to line up market stalls and restaurants and find customers to match those icons. There's opportunities for clever play here and also feel-good moments as you really nail the multiplier that you were hoping for. So things I really didn't like. Randomness is an issue in this game, as market tiles are drawn from a bag, and if there don't happen to be customers you need at the moment you need them, it can feel a bit frustrating. I also found it a tiny bit dull how the pacing of the game turned out. You're placing market stalls and restaurants, and then at some point it switches, and you're just kind of opportunistically drafting customer tiles to get the most points. And that felt a little bit lackluster to me. I think my biggest issue, though, with the game is that I just couldn't really get a handle on it. I never felt like I knew what I was doing, and so I didn't feel like I had a plan, which is my fault. I'd like to play one more time to see if I would feel the same way. Overall, it's in good, not great territory for me. There's cool stuff in here, but it didn't grab me. There's a bit too much randomness, I think. I'm not sure there's enough to want to revisit more than a couple times. Natalie, I think you liked it a little more than me. What did you think?
Yeah, I think I did like it more than you. I don't know. I had fun the whole time playing this game. I really enjoyed it. I liked the weight and the length of the game. Like, it was kind of hit a sweet spot for like a light game, I thought. But it definitely had, made you think. I don't know. For me specifically, I thought the puzzle of planning and figuring out like where to place things and the order of when to place things to maximize, getting how much money you can get. And I don't know. I thought it was really fun. And I kind of, I know that one thing that you didn't like was at the end, you're kind of just like, it's like a race to place the customers out there to see, and hopefully you have tiles out there that like benefit, where you ended up placing all of your like restaurants and stuff. I kind of liked that though, because I kind of felt like on theme almost, like you're building up these markets and these restaurants, and then you're starting to get some customers, and at the end you have all the stuff that you built, and now you're just having the customers come in and you're raking in the money at the end, and benefiting from all that work that you did. And I don't know, I just thought it was an enjoyable game, and I didn't really see many downsides to it. I just had fun with it.
Awesome.
I mean, I do agree, like, I wouldn't see this as a game where, like, there's a lot of variability, or, like, I wouldn't, want to, like, play this over and over and over and over again. But, I mean, I liked it enough where, like, I'd pull this out every once in a while and play it, and I think we'd enjoy it, so...
It's got some really cool ideas, because, like I said, it basically takes that central city building mechanism from Lisboa and makes a game out of it. And, again, in a very similar way that the polyomino mini game in A Feast for Odin was made into Patchwork, although even Patchwork came first. But still, that's what it was derived from. Right. So I do think that's really cool, and I like the way that it's handled, where you basically get points or money if, like, let's say I opened a market stall that has tomatoes, and then I bought a pizzeria restaurant, and I put the pizzeria restaurant adjacent to that tomato market stall. Now, if a customer gets placed in the row or column that market stall is in, I earn money based on, well, that customer has to want tomatoes. So I earn money based on the tomato stall I have with a, plus additional money if there's a restaurant matching that, next to it, multiplied by the number of customers on that top. I like that is cool. That general rule mechanism, I think, is fun.
But you're right. There is some randomness.
The problems I had with it were
I got exactly what I need, and then the stuff that worked for your stuff aren't out there.
Yeah,
that could be a bummer for sure. But I also feel like it's a light enough game and short enough game where it's not going to be
you're right.
This blows.
The game felt like it wasn't a filler game. And then at the end of it, it's like, oh, I guess this was just a filler game.
Right.
So it was hard. In a lot of games that are lighter like this, it's easy to be like, I don't care if I didn't do well or if I didn't really grasp it because it was over in 10 minutes and we'll just play it again. This game was different than that. This game is a filler plus game.
I'd say plus.
But it doesn't feel like that when you're playing it. It feels tricky and brain burnery and how am I supposed to figure where do I put this? And you feel like you're constantly, it's one of those games where you feel like you're constantly making mistakes.
Yeah.
You put something down and you're like, that was probably stupid. But you can't change it. And now you're like, crap, am I going to be able to what am I going to be able to turn that into?
And then later you're like, yes, that was stupid. That was stupid.
Yep, that was dumb. Oh man, why did I do that?
Right.
But there was this cool moment, I'll say, in this game where for it being a filler plus game, there was a moment where you look at the board and you're like, oh my gosh, the way these because you earn money when you place a customer tile or when you place a market stall in a row or column that already has a customer tile. So now you can ultimately and eventually earn money for multiple customer tiles when you place a market stall. And that was the cool part of the game for me, that where it just kind of your brain had to shift a different way to be like, oh, if I place this market stall here, I'm going to earn points for this customer who wants fish, this customer who wants fish, and this customer who wants fish. They're all pointed at this exact stall. And that was kind of a cool, eye-opening moment. So definitely filler plus, not filler plus, right? It's not going to headline a game night, but it's going to, in a 30-minute time frame, it's going to consume mental energy.
Yeah.
So if you're playing a super heavy game and you have time for a filler game, this is probably not the one I would reach for. Yeah. But if you're playing a Planet Unknown, which is not a filler game, but it's also lighter on the brain, Mercado de Lisboa could be and you have a half hour to kill, could be another good one to play because you have mental real estate left over.
In a fillerish, light Vital Lacerda game.
Right. That's a good point. It is Vital Lacerda. So that's Mercado de Lisboa by Vital Lacerda. Jeff, what else you got, man?
I got one more. I got a game so hot that it's not even on Board Game Geek.
What the fuck?
And it's a real game. It's not like I just picked it up in the corner. It's a real game.
What the fuck?
So this game is from Blue Orange Games.
I heard of them. Blue
Orange Games. It is coming out very, very, very soon. You can pre-order it. We double-checked. You can pre-order it on Blue Orange website if you want. Miniature Market's got it for $12. It's called Downtown Farmers Market.
So cute.
Downtown Farmer Market.
Do the Farmer
Market. The Rural Juror.
The Rural Juror.
And I'm going to say a bold statement that's probably wrong. I bet we're the first podcast to ever talk about this game.
Oh, snap.
What the
that's
fuck?
That's what I'm going with. We're the first podcast.
I think we are. You heard it here first.
The only. Well, now.
It's going to be good, and then once people hear us talk about it, it'll be everywhere.
Yeah, probably.
Like everything that we do. It's going to blow up.
Yep. Just like Planet Unknown. No one's talked about that. What if we're the first podcast to talk about Planet Unknown?
And poop knives.
We might be. And poop knives.
And steak
pooping in the shower.
Steak window throwings.
Yep. And Russian mail order brides. Female order brides.
And Selena Gomez Sex Dolls.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so
you're here first.
Other board game podcasts don't talk about those things.
You never know.
No, that's why the crazy people are listening to us.
Boring. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Farmer's Market is a tiny box game. Think of smaller than Code Names. It's a tiny box. You can put it in a big pocket.
Is it those magnetic?
Yes.
I love those kinds of boxes.
It's cool. Yeah, it's like Biblios size.
Yeah, Biblios.
Because it's not like as tiny as Hanabi.
No, yeah, it's not like that. It is a tile laying game with adorable art on the front and on the tiles. Very like cuter than clip art, but sort of in that realm
it's
of
really
like,
cute.
how do you explain that?
It's
nice.
simple,
It is
but
kind
it's
of like clip art,
appealing.
but it doesn't look
cute.
cheap.
yeah.
It looks like they hired a graphic designer, not an artist.
Right. And it's
Yeah.
very
You know what I mean?
vibrant.
Yep.
And so the graphic
Color.
design is awesome, but it's like they use the graphic design as the artwork.
It's
Yeah.
like supposed
That's
to be
what
like
it seems
cutesy, but very like
And I think
simple.
it comes across well.
Yeah.
So it's a tile laying game, and on these tiles are like these little cute things like milk, cheese, eggs, bread, corn, carrots, Wednesday, Tuesday. And it's just like there's like just stuff on them, right? And they're full of those tiles. So
sure.
everybody begins the game by creating a 4x4 border, if that makes sense, of scoring tiles. So you have 4 scoring tiles on top, and then along the left side of it, you have 4 scoring tiles going down low. That creates a 4x4 grid where you're going to play 16 tiles because 4 times 4 equals 16.
Hold on, 4.
Get your
Yeah,
calculators
it's
out.
kind of like the header of like column and row.
Yes.
Yep,
It's the
1, 2,
header
3,
of the
4 on
column.
top,
Thinking of a
A, B, C, D on the
Yeah.
left.
Yes. So that's what you're making. And these scoring tiles that you have tell you what that column or row needs to have for you to score points.
Right.
It might say something like have 3 eggs, have exactly 7 goods in that row or column. You must have the most bread, a certain number of something. And what I also really enjoyed is that there's 2 sides to these tiles. And the front side is kind of an easier way to accomplish goals, and the back side is harder. We get more points for it.
Yep.
So once you set up your 4x4, you have players are then drafting tiles from this open market. So as the 3 of us played, there was 5 tiles in an open market, and you draft them. And then as soon as you draft them, you put them into your 4x4 grid, trying to satisfy these goals, right? So every tile you place will be in one row and one column, right? So you're trying to do that. And you go until you're full. And that's it.
Yep.
So it took 5 minutes for me to teach it, and 5 minutes to set up. We played it in 20.
Yeah, 20 minutes or so.
This game is way better than I thought it was going to be.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like way better. Like not to a point where it was like I thought it was going to be shit, and it's just slightly better than shit.
Yeah, we're like,
This game is
okay, we'll
pretty
just try
good.
this. But we're like,
I thought I was going to have to waffle stomp it down the shower
Yeah,
drain.
It's pretty good. Like there are
This
games
is going
that
in the
I'll,
toilet for sure.
that I'll play that I either buy
going in
or
the
get sent to me where I'm like, okay, this will go in a giveaway box or something like that. I'm keeping this one. Mm-hmm. This is going to
good.
stay in my
Too.
collection.
Yeah.
I think my students will like it. Devin and I could play it on a quick night. We've been talking about it's been harder to get like games to the table as much because
Especially,
of
like, bigger games, I'm sure.
Yeah, new baby and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's been difficult, but we're trying to go, all right, can we play quick? Like we tried to set up 3 Sisters that fell through, but can we play some quicker games?
Mm-hmm.
This is a good one for that. I like that the challenge tiles had an easy side and a hard side. So if you do want to play it with kids, you can just set up the easy side. There's also a rule strictly just for like really young children to play.
Huh.
I don't know what I think it's more of like counting the like symbols instead of something like that. But it's sort of instead, or you can just do all the easy tiles and play like that. Mm-hmm. I like that you get a stack of 4, and those stack of 4 have to go on the top, and the second stack of 4 has to go on the side, and then you can sort of arrange them in the top or the side to maybe make some combinations. Like maybe if you want carrots in that row, you try to make some good cool combos.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie's favorite snack?
I like that there was this a little bit of like tenseness of what you were going to be able to choose from on your turn, that the market didn't refill every time someone took it, that every 3 turns you were last and you had to pick between 2 of them, and you were like, oh god, Ryan's going to take it and he's going to discard the good one. I really like that tenseness. It's easy to score. I thought it might be annoying to kind of score, but it was easier than I thought. And overall, I think Downtown Farmers Market is a winner in the Blue-Orange catalog, which is not updated on Board Game Geek yet.
So annoying.
All right, what do we got?
Okay. You just mentioned the tension that happens during those 5-tile draft. That is the greatest part of this entire game.
Yeah.
That is the most fun component that makes this game go from, okay, this is cool, to, wow, this is really fun. Because this game does something that a lot of other games don't do. And you are in charge of dictating how you score. You have these 8 tiles that you get randomly, but they're double-sided, and you get to choose and synergize them before the game even starts. You get to decide how you're going to lay out your board to hopefully, use your tiles more efficiently than your opponents to get the most points out of it. I don't know that I've seen a game do that before. You're in, like, here's the game. It's going to score this way, but you have to figure out how you're going to do that. That's really cool at the outset. After that happens, then you need, because you've now committed to your 4 columns and 4 rows, and you better make sure that the tiles you get are able to work with these tiles that you've put out. And so now that you've done that, the tiles come out, and there's 5 tiles. And like Jeff said, every third turn in a 3-player game, you're going last. And so you only get to pick from 2 of them. There was a lot of turns in this game where I had my hands over my eyes. And I was just like, I can't look at this. I can't even see what is out there because it's going to, it's going to make me so. And that's how I knew I was having a blast, because I cared. I cared so much about making my own little puzzle that I created work out. And then when it does, you feel even more satisfaction, or more, what's the word? Like, you feel accomplished.
Yeah, like
in a different way, because you did literally
the game didn't
everything.
Play you, right?
You didn't just get like Jeff didn't just hand me a board that said, here's the ways you're going to score this time. Here's the ways you're going to score. No, you get to pick these tiles and you arrange them however you want to.
Yeah, it's a good point. I like that too.
I thought that was like,
because I didn't even need to go for like bread. It wasn't even on my board at all.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it.
Right. So I don't
you guys
need
were,
those.
Right? So
right. Oh yeah, we needed bread a lot.
Sometimes it's cool because like, okay, bread wasn't on your board, but sometimes like just the fact that like I can't have eggs in this row, then bread is appealing because I'm like, ooh, I'll take bread because that's not an eggs, and that, you know.
And that was another thing I liked too. So it was our first play. Even on our 10th play, I don't think that's going to be a perfect science where you have your tiles and you're like, oh yeah, these tiles go together. Right. There's moments where I put my tiles out and I'm like, okay, this is a pretty good synergistic, kind of thing. When I draft tiles now to put these in here, I can hopefully satisfy 2 tiles with this 1 tile. Mm-hmm. But there was moments where I'm like, okay, boom, I put that there, and then I'm like, oh shit, I can't have this icon right next to it now. Oh no.
Yeah.
But I liked that oh no, because you're not left screwed, because 5 different tiles come out each turn, and when it's your turn, you're in the golden ages, you get to pick any one of them you want to. But when you're second, you still feel almost the same tension. You feel a different tension than when you're last. They're both tense, but when you're second, you could still maybe get the tile you want, but the person whose turn it is takes one and then discards one.
Yeah.
And so when you're second, you're like, you really care. When you're third, I'm just talking about out of 3. When you're third, it's almost like, don't show me anything. I don't want to fucking see shit.
Yeah, just let
me see what I have to work with. And both of those, all 3 spots are a different level of interesting. When you're first player and you get all 5 tiles, it's great because you can take whatever the fuck you want, and then you're having a good turn. When you're second player, you have that uneasy tenseness, which is something I crave, where it's like, please don't take the tile I want, please don't. And then if they do, you're like, you have that moment of fuck, but then you're like, okay, there's still 3 tiles left.
Yeah.
There's still a plan B or plan C, and then when you're third, you're just like, oh God, is what I get left over going to screw me? Yeah. But it's really fun to do every one of those 3 spots you're in feels different. And that's unusual in games. Mm-hmm. That's unusual to me. And that really, really, I'm talking about this like it's the greatest game of all time. I like that about it. So this game was really fun for me.
My turn?
Yeah.
We can go back to Jeff.
Yeah, I do have a couple
Jeff,
more
what do you
points
think
I'd
again?
like to say.
So, you know that Meatloaf song where it's like, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Nope.
Keep singing it though.
Yeah, I want to hear more.
What is it like? Took the words right out of my mouth.
I know. Like a bat out of hell. And I know. I would do anything for
I think it's
love.
Paradise by the Dashboard Light, which is the best song. The best one of all of his songs. Anyways, I really like this game too. I agree with you about the tenseness part. That is like by far the best part of the game, and it was like so fun.
Yeah.
It was like the sweet spot of tenseness. And to be honest, the cool thing that I noticed about it was like I did not even care or think about my score. Like all I cared about was like
satisfying your goals,
trying to satisfy all of my rows and columns. Like I was like, I want to get them all. I don't want to have any that I don't score. And I was just having so much fun. No, I was like in my.
I don't want to be the one loser who doesn't get them all.
I just mean like that was just so fun to do that and try to like figure that out. That at the end, I felt more like I was victorious because I completed them all, even though I didn't even win the game.
Yeah.
At the end, I was like, oh yeah, we got to score this. My score is this. I like almost didn't even care.
Yeah.
You know,
I got them all.
I was like, it was just so fun, like trying to do that. And I'm like,
the puzzle was fun. You're right.
And like Jeff mentioned, it had a feel like Sagrada, where like at the beginning you can kind of do whatever you want, and then towards the end it's like, okay, I need some very specific things to make this work.
Come on, eggs.
And
eggs.
You know how much I love carrots. Yeah, so that was so fun, and really it felt a little bit almost to me like a deduction game, you know, because I'm like, okay, here I have these tiles, like I can't use that one because it can't have this, and I can't have this.
Where
one.
do I place it?
Yeah, like what are the based on the options and the rules on my board, like where are the spots that
That's a good point. Yeah, like a little mastermind.
It kind of felt like that a little bit.
Like, here's the spaces I could do.
Can
it.
I put it here?
Best? Yeah.
Nope, I can't because of this and this. Okay, can
do
I
a
put
big
it here?
Sudoku
Okay,
puzzle.
right. So I don't know. I just thought that was really fun. It was a very fun, like
random last thought. Like I also like we talk about like not enjoying as much like randomness of like, what if Ryan set his board up for all milk? He just set it all up for milk and then no milk come out.
Yeah, basically
you see every single tile in the game. It might not come out in the order you want.
You know, I didn't realize that.
You see every single tile, no matter what player counts.
Yeah, I somehow didn't realize that.
With 2 players, every time you take a tile, you take one and discard one. And even the second player would take one, discard one, there's one left over. And with a 4-player game, you just take one.
So you don't necessarily have a chance, but...
You might not have a chance at every tile, but every tile will be seen and flipped over.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, the one you might need is not last, right? But I like that, like, they're not buried. It's not all of a sudden
like,
you're going
to
get 8 tiles full of carrots and you're like, well, I needed those, whatever ago. Like, that might suck, but at least you see them. You have an opportunity for your board to be perfect.
Right.
So here's one thing that I would say, if I have to say anything negative about it, here's one negative I might have. Natalie and I, in our game we just played before the show, because this is the game we played before the show, we both satisfied every of our tiles. Natalie did nothing wrong. Not wrong, but Natalie satisfied everything. And
did as best as I could do,
didn't
basically.
win. Yeah. So the downside with you setting up your own boards, everybody setting up their own boards, you don't have the same opportunities for points. I could make my board easier to complete it all, but then I'm scoring less points potentially, where maybe Jeff is going for the really high point ones, and if they happen to work out, he's going to get a big swing.
So even if everyone did the very best they could do...
If everyone did the very best they can do, you're not all...
Yeah, but
somebody's going to just randomly win.
That is true. And that was kind of the reason that I made the point of I didn't even think or care about my score because I was having so much fun.
Some people will,
playing.
Is my point.
I know. Yeah. I agree. And I'm glad that you said that for people to know. But for me personally, like, I still liked it despite that.
Agreed. I mean, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the trade-off with balance, where if Jeff just had boards pre-set up that said, you're going to play with this board now, I'm going to play this board, we could all play as optimally as possible, but whoever just happens to have a couple extra points on theirs will win.
Maybe if you want to get into the game more, maybe you say, all right, you can only use 2 of the easy sides.
Yeah, right. Everyone's got to use everyone's got to use this.
Yeah.
If you want to get into it like that, but
it's something I wanted to mention.
Absolutely.
You know,
it should be mentioned.
because the game has so many positives, and I don't even know that this is. It's not a negative for any of us.
It
doesn't
more
seem
like a FYI.
But I could see somebody being like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I just played perfectly, and I still lost to you.
Right?
Like, I couldn't have done any better." And I still lost.
Yeah.
You know, I could see that being like, okay, well, I don't like this.
But your board was easier.
Yeah, your board was easier, bitch. It was easier for you. I mean, in Natalie and I's case, it was 1 point.
Yeah.
I had 1 more point worth of stuff on my tiles that I happened to complete.
And the 2 that I didn't get would have been like, that was 19 points, which would have got me 51. Same thing you had. So
right.
Even,
so we were in the same. We were all in the same boat there.
There was 1 row that I had that, like, all the other ones were fixed points, but there was one that was like 1 point per milk, and I only got 2 milks. So if I got 4 milks, I would have beat Ryan.
More, you would have had it.
You know, like, so there is a little bit of
yeah, for sure.
Like
so yeah, this is it's pre-order in a lot of places, but it's coming out very soon. I don't know if Blue Orange releases like seasonal sort of things. This is part of their summer set, and I think this is a winner for 12, 15 bucks.
This feels like a hidden gem.
Yeah.
This feels like something that maybe we wouldn't have ever played before.
I don't think we would ever have, but I'm really glad we did.
Unless it blows up.
Yeah.
There's a chance it could blow up, but I think if you're looking for a game, this kind of feels like a Janelle game to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Janelle comes in town and brings this, and we're like, what the hell?
Yes.
That's what it feels like. Yeah. It's really, really, and nobody that's listening has any clue what the hell I'm talking about. Except Janelle. But basically what I mean is,
people in the Discord.
this is a game, this is an unassuming game, that I think you would look at the box and be like, yeah, okay, well, whatever. This is a blue-orange light game. Play this. If you have a chance to play this, I would really be interested to know what you think. It has that weight level of a bigger game than the box it comes in.
Yeah.
When did you say you think it's coming out?
It's got to be soon. It's in their summer. I don't know what quarter this is. I don't know shit about business
Second
stuff.
quarter.
This is second quarter release game. So this is their summer game.
Yeah, because you can pre-order.
Sometimes
And they have a few other games, but this is in their like summer catalog collection. And yeah, I agree with Ryan. I think if you get a chance to play it. If you're willing to just throw $15 at something for, why not?
Yeah, or you need shipping.
You need the shipping cost because everybody looks for $15 games.
Yeah.
And you just can't add Barrage or something to every order to get that. And this is a good $15 game to throw in. And if you didn't like it, give it to a family because it's definitely a great family game too, I think.
Very cool.
Downtown Farmers Market.
Cool.
I'd like to talk to you all for a moment about the Gateway Board Gaming Network, which you can find at www.thegatewaynetwork.com and the Gateway Network on Instagram. The sole purpose of the network is to help new or up-and-coming content creators grow by shouting each other out. If you go to the Gateway Network website, you will find other amazing content creators who are trying to grow as well. They are all amazing people who produce fantastic content. It's very exciting, due also in large part to the merch store there. Yes, we've got a merch store, which you can find at www.thegatewaynetwork.com/store. There you can find so many amazing items from a large portion of our members. Whatever kind of content you're looking for, the Gateway will have it. If you're a newer board game content creator and you're looking for a way to grow your content, please consider heading over to thegatewaynetwork.com to learn more. If you're looking to support the show, maybe consider flushing your money down the Gamecasters toilet by way of our Patreon page. There are 4 different tiers which will get you access to behind-the-scenes content, exclusive content, or content ahead of time. You will also get swag that nobody else has access to, and just the opportunity to help out and support a podcast which you sometimes listen to. We have amazing patrons. Thank you so much for your support, guys. If you'd like to donate to help us pay for things like hosting fees and that blank that Jeff's had his eye on, please head on over to patreon.com/thegamecasters to help out. The Gamecasters Twitch account has relaunched and we're live every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday night streaming board game and video game content and having a blast talking to all of you. If you just simply can't get enough Gamecasters in your day, please consider heading on over to twitch.tv/Gamecasters and give us a follow and maybe a sub. I have the best time streaming for everyone and it's just a super fun place to unwind after a long day and watch someone who is trash at games play games. Come hang out and engage with me in a way you never thought you had to before, but I'm sorry. You do. Twitch.tv/Gamecasters. Possibly the best way to interact with all of us, though, is via our Discord server. If you go to the Gamecasters Instagram page, you can check out our link tree in our bio to get access to our server. It's a great way to engage with all 3 of us on a daily basis, as well as meet a bunch of like-minded, awesome people. So check out our Discord server. Well, guess what, everyone? It's time to chisel into stone another Gamecasters commandment from high atop our thrones on the mountain of delusion. We have for you our 8th Gamecasters Essential.
Whoa.
If this is the first time you're hearing about the Gamecasters Essentials line, the definition is basically in the title there, so it shouldn't be too hard to figure out. But for the new few morons out there who are still confused, our Gamecasters Essentials line are games that we feel are essential to have if you're building a collection. What is a line? It's a line of games. These are games that we feel everyone, though not everyone, could buy and add to their collection, and the game would be a hit. The cream of the crop, the tip of the top, the flip of the flop, the drip of the drop, the okay, I'll stop. The games we have so far have been Bonanza,
great,
The Castles of Burgundy,
yep,
Strike
It,
Just One
of them,
The Quacks of Quedlinburg,
Quack Quack,
Underwater Cities,
Swamp Swimming,
Istanbul,
not Constantinople,
and now, without further ado, the next game to enter the hallowed halls of the Gamecasters lore and legendarium is The Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Imagine that I just said that. That's what you do to me.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
Why didn't you just do it?
You should have done it.
You should have just done it. I would have been fine with that.
We're cutting this bullshit. We're cutting this stupid one out. Do that all again. Natalie, cut Brian off.
The next game to enter the hallowed halls of the Gamecasters lore and legendarium is The Lost Ruins of Arnak. I got you, bitch! An instant classic, The Lost Ruins of Arnak blasted forth onto the scene back in 2020 during the pandemic and has shot like a hot load all over the stomach of this hobby onto number 33 of the BGG Top 100 list. But why? What makes The Lost Ruins of Arnak such an essential belly button targeter? Well, this
belly button.
Well, because he shot the load all over the stomach. Didn't you hear the load joke? Is a load joke? Yeah. So that's where the load,
Well, this game really.
Where the load went.
That's where it goes. It goes in the belly button. Now you know. Our fronts are different.
Well, this game really is the whole package. You start with what you can see. And this game is absolutely stunning. If this game was a girl on the Russian website my dad was looking at, she'd be about a 9.847. Oh, wow, look at that, 9.847.
Oh my God.
The components you get in the game are incredible. The artwork is beautiful. The theme is fun. The gameplay is thinky yet approachable. There's lots of different things to try. The combo-tastic combos are Natalie's favorite snack food. The game has that really good flow to it that we always talk about. It feels like there's always something fun to do on your turn, and it's one of those games where at the beginning you wonder how you'll ever do anything. But by the end, you do like 10 things on your turn, and it's like, oh my God, this is so awesome. So I love The Lost Ruins of Arnak. We just, a couple days ago, got the expansion in the mail, and we are dying to try that.
Yes.
So
We'll be right back. Try it now.
We just played the expansion to The Lost Ruins of Arnak. It is no longer in the Essentials line. No. This game is so fantastic. Why do you guys feel it deserves a spot in the pantheon of the Gamecasters Essentials?
Do you want me to go, Natalie?
Yes.
We go counterclockwise. We go counterclockwise.
For the essentials, we do.
Yeah.
Okay, let me start. With the expansion, this game has elevated itself, like I said this in another episode, into my top 10.
Yeah.
Without the expansion, I don't know if it would have ever cracked the top 10. I still loved it and was like, this is a great game. I'll play this all the time.
Yeah.
With the addition of like these player abilities, with the new cards, the asymmetrical sort of way to play this game is elevated into greatness, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it's in our essential line. Because it went from a 10-play game where I felt like, I understand what to do. This is what you do. To now I have 6 different characters to play while playing against people who have also different characters.
Right.
And I love that. I think that it is a wonderful mix of like randomness with the card drawing and the card flips that come out for you to buy. I think it's a great mix of that with tactical decisions of if I move up on this temple track before you do, I get the bonus and you don't. I think it's also like planning your strategy. What cards do I want to buy to do this?
Yes.
That feeling all comes together really, really well. I never play that game and go, man, the randomness got me. The tactical decisions got me. The strategy got me, because you have to do them all. You have to be good at all of those things in the moment. I think you said it perfectly with the timing. It feels like at the beginning you can do nothing. How the fuck
am I going to ever do anything? This game's going to end so fast.
And then in the end of round 3, 4, and 5, you feel unstoppable.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
I just need one compass, and I can do 38 things.
Yeah, right.
And it feels so good to do that.
Oh my God, does it ever.
And the downtime doesn't feel bad, because while I'm doing 38 things, you're trying to figure out how you can do 38 things.
Yep.
It doesn't feel like when you guys played Everdell that one time where all of a sudden Jeremy was done 6 weeks before you guys finished. It doesn't feel that way, because you're going to have that turn.
Right.
It's there.
Yep.
You just had to figure it out. You just have to go, okay, when I can get this extra coin, I can then do this and this and this and this and this. And that even amplifies with the expansion and with the powers and the abilities of, maybe I do want fear cards because I can burn those fear cards to do sweet actions.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the best, because this is a worker placement deck building game. It's not the best worker placement game. It's not the best deck building game. But when they come together, it might be fucking works.
It might be.
It just works together, because you don't want to focus on just building a massive deck, right? And you don't want to focus on also like maybe discarding all of your bad cards at the beginning. You know, like the management of the deck is not the game. The management of your workers is not the game. It's that combination of the two to do them both. And it's wonderful. I'll play it whenever. Essential, on the shelf, not going anywhere.
Buy this game.
Buy it. And the expansion.
And the expansion.
Yes.
Finally, we got it. I'm so excited. Natalie, what do you think?
Well, I don't want to follow that.
Okay, well, let's go back in time. Natalie went first.
No, I'm not. I guess all I have to really say about it for being an essential is
okay. That's fine.
I'm not going to necessarily talk about like the actual mechanics of the game, but I think that's the general feel of the game. It's a game that that gamers love. It's got like that great weight. It's just got like I don't even know. It's got everything that the majority of people in the hobby enjoy, but also it for like a newer gamer, I feel like it's not that hard to pick up. And then, like Jeff said, a benefit of it is, like, even if you were just learning this game or you were like a non, it does start slow enough for you to be like, okay, you can't do much, so I'm just trying to like slowly like figure it out. But then by the time it builds up, you have figured it out, and now you're in it, you know, and enjoying it just as much as the people who have more experience. And
yes,
I feel like that makes this game well liked by a wide variety of gamers,
which is why it would be an essential in a class. Essential. It's not like you're like, hey, new gamer, let's play Kalis. It's
right.
essential.
Right. Yeah.
There's a very good chance playing new game with Kalis, playing Kalis with new gamer. They're like, I hate this so much,
and I hate you for bringing it out.
There's another chance you might play with a new gamer who's like, oh, give me more of this kind of game. However, what I think Lost Ruins of Arnak does really well is it bridges the gap between Eurogamer and Thematic Gamer.
Yep.
Really well. There's something there for each of them. There is a lot of theme and, setting to be poured over in this game if you want that. There's also a lot of tactical, strategical kind of decision-making points to be had if you want that. And it marries those two things really, really well. A little bit better than a similar game like Dune Imperium does. Because Dune Imperium, awesome game as well. Very similar to Lost Ruins of Arnak in a lot of ways. However, I think Lost Ruins of Arnak does what Dune Imperium does slightly better. That's one of those things where some people like Dune Imperium better, some people like Arnak
it's like you're
better.
splitting hairs. They're both amazing.
Personally, I think for an essentials line, Dune Imperium, Lost Ruins of Arnak works a little bit better. And man, is it fantastic. So that is the 8th Gamecasters Essential.
Woo woo.
Lost Ruins of Arnak. Jeff says Lost Ruins of Arnak plus expansion. I cannot wait to play with the expansion.
Yes.
It is now the time of the show where Jeff takes control and administers 20 cc's of you guys with his Insta syringe in this episode's Instagram inbox.
And now it's time for the Instagram inbox with the Mad Board Gamer.
Okay, I'm in control. It's me, Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, here with an extremely inappropriate Instagram inbox.
That's weird because we're usually very appropriate.
So your children have been listening all through
Selena Gomez Sex Doll.
Selena Gomez Sex Doll.
Children.
Waffle Stomp.
Something about our belly button, waffle stomp. Now they need to go away. Okay.
So that was tame, you're saying, compared to what's about to happen?
Well, the words that are going to come out of my mouth in sequential order is going to...
Who is it? Is it Middle Class Joe? Put your headphones on. So mother-in-law doesn't
mother-in-law?
Your mother-in-law should not be listening to this. So hide from your mother-in-law.
What is this going to be?
Okay, so we've done in the past, which have had amazing results, replacing a letter or like swapping a letter in a board game title to get... A new title, and that's been hilarious, and Terraforming Mark is amazing. And we have all these great ones, okay? And we'll do that one more. But this one I was like, let's
Twilight
just
Snuggle.
Yeah. Too many boners classic.
It's just like, so this is, I just decided, let's just go completely raunchy and terrible and just go replace a word in a title of a game with a cuss word, a swear word.
That's so... All right, so real quick, before you start, this is a game that me and my buddy Chris used to play. This is so stupid. We would be driving home from somewhere. Like, say we went, like, on a vacation together, with, like, everybody. And we're driving home, and me and him are in the front seat, everyone in the back seat sleeping. We would just drive and look at every sign that we'd see on the road, and what we would do is we'd replace one word with dick.
Yeah, that's it.
Every time.
And you laugh at it.
Terraforming Dick. Dick Mars. You know what I mean? Like, that's all we would do. It would have to be Dick. Dick Teutonica, Hansa Dick, Tigris and Dick. Dick and Euphrates.
Micro Dick.
That's basically what I have. Yeah.
Micro Dick. Damn it.
Yep, that's what I have.
Okay, so continue.
Okay, so I got a lot. So just buckle up. Hide your kids. Hide your mother-in-laws. All right. Some of them are fairly tame. Some of them are not. We'll start out with Nestor. Nestor, instead of Barren Park, just Bare Naked Park. That's a good one. Fire Island, he turned into Fire in My Balls Island.
So he's inserting.
He's inserting.
He's not replacing.
Yeah.
There's a game called Here to Slay. He just calls it Here to Slay That Ass. Happy Salmon is Happy Salmon in My Pants. So that was him more of like adding.
Yeah.
We have Dog Power Vehicle sent me a bunch on the Discord, which you should go join. Cockasone. Civilization, a nude dong.
A nude dong?
Yep.
That's good.
We got a feast for moaning. A great happy trail. Caverna, the shave farmers.
Great happy trail. These are dog-powered vehicles?
Yeah, and this one, he's like, this one might be over the line, but the Isle of Cunts.
Oh, man. Send them all to that aisle.
Yep. Yeah, send them all to dog-powered vehicle.
Oh, man. It's like,
All right, so this is Swoozle. Went Swoozle like.
okay,
Yeah.
Swoozled us.
All right, so I'll just take a big.
Oh, boy.
All right. Hey, that's my front.
Stop. Don't touch me there. That's my...
Tiny epic penis. My little poop knife.
Okay, these are incredible.
A pegging for Odin.
Oh,
Wait.
begging for Odin.
Oh no, it's great.
It's great, though.
It's great. Blood on the dingleberries.
Ew.
Let's make a bus porn. It's a wonderful turd. Poo lagoon. Stuffed anus.
Oh my god.
Fire in the crotch.
Anus.
He's good at this.
One night ultimate bukkake.
Well, they're not. It's just...
You just have to swap a word
Yeah,
out.
it's not like even
Which
rhyming
makes
or
it even
anything.
worse. Yeah.
I know, but I try to think of
One
some.
night
know.
ultimate bukkake.
Booty of Dracula. The prostate negotiator.
Oh,
Coal in the inside world. The phallus of Mad King Ludwig.
Oh my god.
The big butt of madness.
the phallus of Mad King Ludwig is great.
That's good.
A fistful of penis
Fistful.
instead of a fistful of meeples. Robin Hood and the horny men. Instead of blood rage, you have butt rage. Sharding at the house on the hill. Elder porn and unstable erections.
Elder porn.
Who knew this would
okay,
be
here we
so
go.
good?
Wow.
I got more.
Oh my...
Warrior Mama 2 boys said the assholes of Quedlinburg.
The assholes of Quedlinburg.
These jerks. Bobo the GM. Natalie, this is
Yes,
yours.
yes.
Micro Macro Penis City. It's kind of like that one.
That's
Yep.
good.
5-minute climax. Between two boobies is all from Bobo.
Between two boobies.
Two boobies.
That sounds great.
Yeah, between two boobies.
I want to be there.
Joe went along. Joe, clearly, there's a couple of them you know that these people listen to the show because
Yeah, they do callbacks.
Board Gaming Madigan says, "Hey, that's my minge."
That's great.
Emotional Cyborg came up with Placenta Town
Oh man.
or Twilight Filth.
Twilight Filth, okay.
We got Beeble Deeble.
What's this?
Beeple Deeple. It's a new person.
Oh, Beeple
No, but that's the new person.
Okay.
That's the
I'm like,
account.
I'm like, Janelle said
Beeple
Beeple
Deeple.
Deeple.
So they didn't want to go with Meeple, so they went with Beeple Deeple.
Okay, I like it.
People, people.
Mice and Minge. Gloomhaven Jaws of the Foreskin.
Oh my god.
And and the Queefs of Quedlinburg.
That's great.
Jim Gamer came up. He didn't know that we were doing this essential line, but came up with the Lost Virginity of Arnak.
Lost virginity.
He also came up with Just Come,
Oh my god.
and he came up with Bukkake Bros.
Yes. God, any way we can get bukkake in there.
Stephen Godfrey 77 came up with Minge Span instead of Wingspan.
There's 3 minges.
I know. More Stephen Godfrey came up with the Cocks of Quedlinburg, Minge Night, Galaxy Fuckers,
Minge Night. Galaxy Fucker.
That's a good one.
Galaxy Fuckers, and the Swingers of West Kingdom.
Wait, who is this?
This is all Stephen Godfrey 77.
Oh,
on
great.
Instagram.
Those are
Yeah.
good.
Osgore came up with Terraforming Arse. He's like, sorry, I'm not that creative. Terraforming Arse.
That's
still
good,
great.
man. That's good.
OMG, it's Essen. Came up with 2 girls and a cup instead of 2 rooms and a boom.
Oh my gosh.
There's a game called Skull Canyon. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I never heard
Skull
of that.
Canyon, and then it has a colon. He changed it to Skull Canyon, Fuckfest.
Oh my god.
Atlantis Rising just turns into Penis Rising.
Penis Rising.
Of course.
Dick Rising.
Yep, that was the charity board gamer came up with Penis Rising.
There you go.
Ty G808.
Yep. Ty, what's up, man?
He came up with Down Forceful. And Patchwork is Pimp Work.
Pimp work.
Dave Mick came up with Underwater Shitties. Ever Dildo.
Ever dildo.
Yep. Whole Player.
Oh, good.
Dads and Dice came up with the Isle of Pussy.
Oh man!
I mean, it's cats, so I get
that's
the
true.
yeah.
The McMeeples has Dick Throne, which was on a letter swap,
and
then he just turned Fort into fuck. And those are the names that we have that just insert a swear word into a board game.
Those were a lot more creative than I should not even say that, because you guys always come up with the most highly creative stuff to put in here. But for some reason, I was like, okay, this is just going to literally be a swear word instead of a word.
Yeah.
But you guys were very creative in there. That was really, really funny.
That was good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So some of these games have had it way too good for way too long. Riding high on the BGG Top 100 thinking, man, I'm great. No one has anything bad to say about me. What a smug fuck.
Oh my
goodness. Well,
you smug fuck.
Well, Natalie has something to say about that bullshit in today's installment of the Board Game Beatdown.
Number one.
Today on the Board Game Beatdown, I am beating down a game called Gaia Project.
Ooh, Gaia Project.
Yeah, baby.
Gaia Project is good.
Gaia Project is rated
Hell yeah, it's
8.5 and ranked number 7.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So
it's Terra Mystica.
Did it jump Terra Mystica?
I think so.
Probably more theme and
I think so too.
Well, it's heavier.
It's a little heavier.
It's heavier, yeah. So some people really like that.
Track
well,
board.
instead of just going up on those tracks, it actually you do no. So there's those like tracks in Terra Mystica that you go up on.
Yep.
And there's the tracks in Gaia Project you go up on. But the Gaia Project tracks are like now like technology kind of stuff.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Where they're not like that.
I'm trying to think.
Mystica.
I haven't played Terra Mystica in a long time. I played Gaia Project a few times.
Yeah, Gaia Project is more complex because of that specifically.
Yes. Well, not everybody likes Gaia Project. You want to know why? I'll tell you.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yes, I do.
Idiots.
I really want to know.
Gamil says any game that doesn't come with an organizer is an automatic 1.
Automatic.
Candyland is like $10 and has an insert. What's your excuse?
Candyland's got one.
Oh my god.
Candyland 10. Candyland 10. Gaia Project 1.
Okay, can I pause the Instagram or what is it? Again?
Beep.
Yeah, the beatdown.
The beatdown for a second. I went on when I was looking at like games like Dark Quarter and Chronicles of Crime. There is someone with a Board Game Geek account. I forget the name. I'll have to figure it out. That literally has gone on every single game with an app and has just rated it a 1.
Yeah, people
Just
are.
'cause it has an
people
app?
But that's the only thing they've ever rated. So I'm curious if this person created an account just to go on and rate that
account to rate ones.
Like there's nothing that he's rated nothing a 10 or a 9 or 8. Just went on just specifically to target games with that.
Some people have a disproportionately amount of hate for these weird things in this hobby about fun.
Like it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Like I get if you
it
have
doesn't
an
have an
opinion
insert, it's a 1, Jeff.
You have an opinion about
Instantly
it.
a
But
1.
To make a whole account just to rip
bring
on
down
it.
his ratings.
The game is a 1 because I can't put it away easily.
Inserts.
Yeah.
He must have a lot of 1s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
90% of your games must be 1.
Games that don't have an insert.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like some entitled neck-bearded fuck who just got into the hobby last year, who's used to games, that have inserts, because games are coming with game trays a lot of times now. But then they see a game like back from 2016, like Gaia Project, it doesn't have one. Oh my god, I hate it.
You think this fucking douchebag would call one of those like 2-sided things, the cardboard thing, an insert? You think he would? You know how there's
I feel like
one middle is raised and then there's just two.
What I like to think is this person is like only satisfied if the game comes with game trays. Like if it's either mechs versus minions or it's a 0 or it's a 1.
Douche chill.
Harry says the most long, boring, and drawn out awful experience I've ever had playing this game the 3 times I had to. I played with experts at this game, and the only thing I can say is if you don't study every strategy, opening, and faction, you are basically a useless bot waiting for your turn. Downtime is a lot, the interaction is minimal. You are playing a solo game when sometimes you have to rethink what to do next.
Okay. This isn't as bad as saying the insert.
I don't hate that. Yeah, you will get beat.
Yeah.
If you are going into Gaia Project and people have played before, you're going to lose.
You're probably going to lose.
Faction.
However, he's going a little overboard by saying if you don't study and you're not an expert, you can be. And there's people like Jeff's one of these people who's just kind of inherently good at games the first time he plays them. Not everybody is like Jeff, but there's people like that. Mm-hmm. And so you're just get good, bro.
Just play. Just
fucking get
harder.
good.
Well, just study it, and then you'll be better.
If you study hours beforehand,
that's what I do.
Chris Thomas 226 says, long and dull, not enough interaction for my liking in games.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Elephant Pool says,
sounds like a sex rating.
Awful headache in a box, miserable.
Wait, say it again.
Awful headache in a box, miserable.
Okay, awful headache in a box. Yeah,
headache in a box.
Sandor
not saying
Vegan
anything.
says awful deja vu.
What the hell does
Awful
that mean?
deja vu.
I assume they mean like
It was
like
awful.
Terra Mystica.
It reminded
feels like
me.
deja vu, but
Well,
it's
if that-
awful.
then say
Oh,
that.
that's possible.
Then say like one. Terra Mystica is a better
Yeah,
game.
just
People
as
are
awful
not
deja-
very substantive when they rate
Come on.
these things.
Dude.
Ampoliro says
Ampoliro.
And Poliro.
much better game than Terra Mystica, but not enough better to win me over.
So it's much better, but it's a 1.
It's still a 1.
They also
Terra
said
Mystica, 0.
They
Terra
also
Mystica's
said they
zero.
reduced
Negative
it from
2.
a 5.5 because they said I've had an epiphany. Terra Mystica is Catan 2.0 and Gaia Project is Catan 2.5. The primary mechanism in all three is building up connected settlements. Also in all three, the state of the game after the players place their first buildings is the single largest factor in the outcome of the game, which is why they are horrible games unworthy of anybody's time or interest.
So where you place your
Based.
first building, you must play with bad people at the game.
Based. Yeah, fucking idiot,
So they're
man.
just, and they think it's like Catan?
So, but he's rating
right,
it
well,
like that, so Catan is the worst.
That
Terra
reminds me
Mystica
of people
second
who are
worst.
like, oh, there's hex tiles in it. This is just Settlers
Yeah.
of Catan all over again. Like, okay, so Settlers of Catan does not have a monopoly on connecting,
Right.
putting connections out across
on a
hex
in this
spaces.
hex space.
Horatius
You stupid
Horatio
idiot.
Sands.
Fuck.
Horatius
Horatio
Stockles,
Sands.
I don't know.
Horatius Stuckles?
Says, like, I love Terra Mystica, but I was expecting something new, not making only cover
Why?
for a good but dry game.
Why
and
were
I'm
you
not
expecting
rating
something
the
new?
art.
That's your
Otherwise, I would have to
expectations. You ruined
confirm
that.
all ratings with 10 are from colorblind people.
Gaia
Everyone
Project
knows
is
that.
like Terra Mystica like version 2.
They don't even hide it. It's not something
Yeah,
that
they're not
to cover up.
They're not.
It is.
It is Terra
It's
Mystica.
not like they're saying, like,
Yeah.
Teotihuacan, blah, 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 and you're like, can't help
No,
but compare
this
it.
is
It's like
Terra
a
Mystica
totally
in a different setting with a couple
Yeah.
added things to make it more
Right.
complex.
Yeah.
But the game at its core is Terra Mystica.
But he's also saying, like, the art is crappy.
Okay, I mean that's
this
a
art's
complaint
not
you can't argue
Yeah.
with.
Your
opinion's
Gallus
dumb, but-
says,
Yeah, you're stupid.
Yeah, you're done.
bad
but-
component quality, extra rules with respect to Terra Mystica without adding any depth, unbalanced races, complete waste of money. Stick to Terra Mystica.
Unbalanced races.
I think it adds. It does add a lot more depth. But is that depth worth it? Would be my if
Yeah.
Yeah,
you don't
how
think
does
that
it
depth is
not
worth
add
it,
depth?
cool. But it definitely adds depth.
Yeah.
You're wrong about
Yeah, you
adding
have to
depth.
think so much more.
This
Idiot.
one,
hate
this one
these
has
fucking
a
people.
this one has a meme. So Anna Prim says, Anar Prim, very heavy, overbloated, solitaire, combinatorial game. My worst nightmare. And then they put a meme with Michael Scott where he's saying,
my god.
"No, God, no, please,
Oh,
no,
that one where
no."
Toby comes back or whatever.
Why God no no? All right, that's kind of funny.
That
At least.
is kind of funny. Junior Gratz says,
Junior Seau.
ugly, badly graphically designed, and a nightmare to play with experienced players who overlook explanation of excessive rules, symbols, and do
Get better friends. Get better
your
friends.
game group. You cannot be. This game wasn't explained well to me. One.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Right.
Steve, fuck this game up
This
for me.
stupid game that some people can't explain.
It would get a couple more stars if I didn't play Terra Mystica and could see how Gaia Project was forcefully made smarter or more replayable by adding separate non-streamlined mechanics. But the truth is that this game is less smart than fans think. Some players just feel proud because they understand the mechanics of demanding games, but strictly speaking, this is a limited chess-like game that kind of allows multiplayer. Openings are scripted and there are
What do you
two
mean by
little
that? What a
choices once you understand the do's and
Butthurt
don'ts.
basement dwelling freak.
They're like little,
Go upstairs for
little
once.
strategy,
Fuck,
lots
get
of
some vitamin
fiddly
D
Get
in your
bits.
outside,
life.
asshole.
My God.
And he says, and no, chess-like doesn't mean it has the depth of chess.
Okay. All right. We are probably the only person that's ever read this out loud. Yet they wrote that as if it's going to appear on the front cover of Board Game Geek for everyone to see. That's what drives me crazy about reviews like this guy. He writes it as if every single fucking person is going to look at this thing. No one's reading this.
Nope.
You just went like, oh, and this is so subjective, but you're writing it as if it's objective. You're writing it as if that's the only thing. But it's not, dude. You sound stupid.
Lapcha says, as funny as it is doing your taxes.
It's funny.
That does not make sense. But
Well,
maybe they mean as fun. As
yeah,
it is
because
doing
it's not
taxes.
trying to be
that's
funny.
just as, like-
I don't get why it's not trying to be funny.
Project.
That's funny as doing it.
Croft Golf says, hard to understand, could have been bad teacher.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. So this is
All
now
right.
another one about not
But you
knowing the
rated
rules
it
or
like
reading
I'm
it.
fine with that just being a comment you write. Like you write a comment about a game that's like, okay, I didn't like this. Could have been the bad teach. but then you rank it a 1.
You say, this is a terrible game. Because
so you are affecting the rating of this game because to your admission, you didn't get taught correctly.
Yeah. John Rogers says, "Do
I
you
like John Rogers.
What?
I like John Rogers.
You know him?
Does he got the Futurama?
I took.
Yeah, he's got a Futurama.
Oh, okay.
Guy. He's actually
he says,
a good guy.
"Do you like engine builders, overwrought tech trees? Do you want a game that has nominal board presence, plastic bits, is set in space, and has the appearance of interaction, but deep down you're still playing in an MPS efficiency point salad?"
Yes.
Well, here you go. Gaia Project to the rescue. Recommended to gamers who dig Pfister, Lacerda, and most modern complex Euros.
Right. Yeah. See, okay.
Yeah.
That's actually, I think, and I'm saying this kind of a little biased because I like this guy, because I know this guy.
Okay.
But I actually kind of don't hate that comment because basically he's saying, do you like this?
Yeah.
Then you'll like this game. I don't like this.
It low,
I mean, he was saying it kind of insultingly, as if you liking that is bad. But I like how he said it reminds you of Pfister, Lacerda, these kinds of games, which we love.
Yeah,
here.
we're like, that sounds great.
Right.
Heck says.
Heck. Oh, heck. Oh, geez.
Terra Mystica.
I went to go play it at Arby's the other day, and it just... Oh, they got me.
The Gaia Project didn't work.
KK.
No. Space. I don't like space.
Terra Mystica was okay, but do we need a more complicated clone? I don't think so. Please, publishers, develop new games.
Fine.
You know
First of all, publishers are not reading
How many games are published every year?
Thousands
and thousands and thousands. So there's no space to make a game that's more complex than a game that everyone loves. Terra Mystica is one of the most beloved games in the entirety of the hobby. So we don't have room to make a game that's just like it, only maybe a little more complex, because this fucking guy wants, instead of thousands and thousands of games released, he wants thousands and thousands plus 1.
Yep.
There's no fucking room. It's like people that talk shit about games like Unlock and Exit because or legacy games because you tear them up. They talk so much shit like, oh my God, you can never fucking play it again. Listen, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of games to play that aren't the 10 legacy games that exist.
Right.
That aren't the 3 exit and unlocks. It's okay that these exist.
Right. Some
if
people
you don't
want
to play them, it's okay. I hate that comment so much. That's so fucking stupid. Neckbeard
Good thing all the publishers are reading this. No, they'll take note.
Oh, we shouldn't remake games hard. We should have made a new one. Fuck.
We fucked up.
There's already 15,000 other ones
we
this year.
It up, eh?
Stupid.
Oh, we made another game like that one.
Oh, gee.
Oh, heck.
Oh, no.
Son of a...
We called it Gaia
right
Project. How do they know it's like Terra Mystica?
Oh, no.
Jester Trek says, Terra Mystica only made even more complex and harder to understand. That seems like a good idea. No, wait, no.
Well, some people wanted that.
That's fine.
See, personally, I like Terra Mystica. I like Terra Mystica. But I think Gaia Project is incredible. I like Terra Mystica better than I like Gaia Project because I think Gaia Project goes one click beyond what I'm looking for in that experience. But there's a lot of people who wanted that one click up in complexity.
Viren the Run France.
What?
Run France?
Viren the Run France.
You can't really do much. Every turn you play feels like, I will do this. Ah, no, I can't. Then this. No, I can't either.
Get good,
then I guess
bitch.
I will just pass. And then all you manage to do brings you nothing in the end. It's just nonsense. Also, the theme could be anything else.
You sound bad at the game.
Nothing. No, Jeff, you can't do anything, dude. Jeff, you can't. There's nothing you can do.
Fine, can't do it.
You can think that you can do stuff. You can't. No.
I guess I'll just pass.
No, you can't.
So you just pass 5 times.
Yeah, you got to just pass.
Yeah.
Because what's the point? You can't do anything.
Merlin 8888 says worst version of Terra Mystica, which players up to 5.
Okay, fine.
Which plays up to
worst
5.
version of Terra Mystica, which plays up to 5.
Lizard, what was that guy's name?
Okay,
Merlin.
We get it, Merlin.
Again, I mean that one, whatever. Some people are gonna like one versus the other.
Tassar says,
Ooh, Tassar, we've had
yeah.
it before.
Yeah.
Scrapping points from everywhere. Super ugly design. No clear oversight. Takes way too long. Bad. Much worse than Terra Mystica. A friend said it had too much kerfuffle. Sounds like the proper word for this mess.
Kerfuffle.
Too much kerfuffle.
You know what? This game is cool, but there's kind of an excess of kerfuffle.
Like if there was less.
There was a little bit less kerfuffle, like a skosh.
I would be okay. Like
less kerfuffle. But there's a little bit too much kerfuffle, I think, in this one, which sounds almost a little bit racist.
Yeah, but there's like 3 kerfuffles would have been okay, but 4 kerfuffles just went a little
I'm uncomfortable saying kerfuffle now.
This sounds like someone who likes Terra Mystica. B Dunn says, can't get behind any game that is a re-implementation of Terra Mystica, even if it has an awesome space theme to it.
Why?
So
why not?
They just love it so much.
It's got a theme that he likes more. It's got a theme he likes more.
It's based on a game he likes.
Yeah.
that does something different enough that maybe you'll like this one. Why can't you get behind it?
And no one is stealing this from them. This is not like Terra Mystica was not stolen by a company and by a publisher.
Terra Mystica is still doing fine.
It's doing fine, and everyone knows that this is a re-implementation of the game.
Also, is it the same designers?
I don't fucking know.
I'm going to look it up.
It's probably all heck.
I hope it is. I kind of think it's the same designers.
It's on board. You go to Board Game Geek, click on Terra Mystica, it says re-implemented by Gaia Project.
It is the same designers.
Yeah. They're allowed to do that. They're allowed.
For fucking shit. These stupid
Senior
basement dwelling
Finn says.
Senior Bin?
Senior Finn.
Oh, Senior Finn.
How can this game be top 10? I seriously can't understand how BGG features puzzles like Gloomhaven and Pandemic and a game like Gaia Project in the top 10. Trolls at work?
They're so different.
Want to play Gaia Project? Be prepared to spend hours asking, so how does this mechanic work? How does this icon work?
Just listen to the rules,
Then
man.
after hours of setting up for a high-scoring move, 90% of the game, get a comment like, no, but this icon doesn't mean that. No, you needed this unrelated thing to do that, and that one other thing.
Poorly again.
And my favorite, last round we played this wrong. From now on, we should ...
So time out. Did this person at the beginning say that Pandemic is like this amazing?
They were like,
game
Gloomhaven and Pandemic.
Like,
that tells me your brain works differently. Right. You like the thematic kinds of games, but a game Gaia Project is very difficult.
Yes.
It's a tough game. You can't just go to Gaia Project and just casually sit down and be like, let's play a game of Gaia Project. You got to pay attention. You have to listen to the rules. You have to know what you can do and what you can't do. And if you don't, you're going to perform bad.
Yeah.
You need to know what you can do.
Because I'm sure on Pandemic Legacy or Pandemic, whatever, you can go on there and look at the one rating. It's like, why would a game that someone else can just play for me and I can sit at the table be in the top 10? Because I don't have to do
Trolls at work.
Be on my phone while quarterback takes.
Luckily, Gaia Project exists.
Yeah,
right. So it's exactly the opposite. Which is, to me, I'm mad because those dumb people aren't self-aware enough to realize that they just think differently than somebody else.
Right.
They're saying it again like that's the only fact that exists.
Like they think that the way they think is the
only right way to think.
Yeah. Daddy 18.
Ooh, Daddy.
Daddy 18 says, I've never had a game leave me so unsatisfied upon winning.
Daddy.
This game has done it nearly every time. When I first got the game, it hoodwinked me into thinking it was good. How foolish.
Kerfuffle.
This is a soulless, overly complex, mind-numbingly boring game that I refuse to pull out on game night. It's become more of a chore than a game. I've never played Terra Mystica, but thank God I didn't. If Gaia is an improved version, I can't imagine the train wreck what Terra Mystica is. Don't waste your time or your money on this overpriced tragedy of a game.
Poor unsatisfied daddy.
It's a tragedy. He will never be satisfied.
I know, that's all I kept thinking.
He's tragic. Dude, Dune Imperium is ranked number 15. Holy shit.
Oh, snap.
So Terra Mystica is 21 now.
It used to be a top 10.
It was in the top 5. It was like number 5 or 4 for a while. Gaia Project is number 7 right now.
Okay, last one. Peter Loftus says, so polished it actually fools you into thinking it is a decent game for a while. It isn't. It is the bad idea of shitty Terra Mystica rolled in glitter.
What?
Shitty Terra Mystica rolled in glitter.
Rolled in glitter?
Glitter shit.
Darn, man. I was hoping to like it too. Darn. That's such a bummer. Well, how do you feel now, Gaia Project?
You got whooped.
How the fuck do you feel?
Shot
if I was you,
past Terra Mystica, but
no,
some people
you've been
still don't like it.
You've been beat down,
bitch.
Shit. Well, you guys, today is the day. Today is the day. Today is the day we get the 3-minute game guessing the title of the game, saying anything about the game other than the title of the game.
Oh, that game.
Okay.
We've come little number.
So close in the past. Jeff, can you do me a favor and get your stopwatch?
For 7 minutes.
3 minutes
I have
20 seconds.
30 games.
I know.
30 games I've come up with. This is the game of the episode. I've come up with 30 games for Natalie to give to Jeff. Jeff is going to guess the games in 3 minutes. Can they do it? Yes.
Probably not, but we're going to try.
Can. On your marks. Get set.
Hold on.
Yeah, take a deep breath. We know what we should do. The mind.
Okay.
Yes, good idea.
Center yourself. Okay. All right. On your marks. Get set. Go.
Your new favorite polyomino game.
Planet Unknown.
The game with the app that we all played on Zoom.
Space team.
Nope. Pirates.
Forgotten Waters.
Yes. The new game we just got is really big and it's about like Alice in.
Oh, Wonderland's War.
Yes. The game I just beat down.
Gaia Project.
Okay.
Pause. I can pause. Hold on. I can pause.
I got it back. Okay.
Did you lose it?
No, I got it back.
Go.
Your favorite game with the gear.
Zolkin.
The big spreadsheet one that we were obsessed with.
Hadrian's Wall.
Yes. The one like that, but with
Three Sisters.
Yep.
Nice.
Today's essential.
Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Okay. One of my favorite games with all the tiles and the cocoa.
Istanbul.
Yeah.
Tiles and cocoa.
I mean, maybe coffee. I don't know. The cauldron bag.
Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Yep. Throwing dice in a bucket.
Sprake. In a bucket.
The party game with dry erase little thingy.
Just one.
Yep.
Okay. That was good.
Beans.
Nice job. Bonanza. Is that right?
One of our favorite games of all time that just there's going to be a
Underwater
new one.
Cities.
A brand new one coming out. It's all redone. And
Pass.
No, not pass. Okay.
you
What
can't
did you just
pass.
Castles of Burgundy. Go ahead.
And what did you just say?
I don't remember.
Your guess.
Underwater Cities.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, nice. Keep going.
Vita Lacerda in space.
On Mars.
Yep. This was based off that movie. That's kind of like Arnak, the game.
Indiana
Arnak,
Jones.
no, the sand monster guy.
Oh, Dune.
Yeah.
Dune Imperium.
Okay.
Yes.
Gaia Project, but the other
Terraform.
game.
Or Terra Mystica.
Yeah. Okay. Bird game.
Wingspan.
Yep. The party game where you there's a lot of dirty jokes about it and
Cards Against Humanity.
and no, it's a little tiny box one, and then
Just pass.
okay,
We'll come back to it.
Okay. This game you like with the app that you just got like a expansion or something for
Chronicles of
that I
Crime,
didn't really
Dark
like that
Quarter,
much.
Destinies.
Yeah, Destiny. Okay, Ryan's game that he made.
The Samurai.
Okay.
1 minute.
Oh, okay.
The Wa.
Oh my God.
I shouldn't have said that.
No.
Obsession.
Yeah, why did you say that?
What are you doing?
Go!
Go! What's happening?
What did you? Okay. What? The one that hangs on the wall.
Canvas.
No, over there.
Crokinole.
Okay, the one with the magnets and the blue thing that we
Glass.
Yes. Okay, the one where you throw the dice down the stairs.
Tumbling dice.
The one with the colorful dice, stained glass.
Sagrada.
Okay. The one that's dad, but instead it's not dad.
Mombasa.
Yeah. Okay. The one with
30 seconds.
the one that has like 10. It's like a legacy type thing, and it has like all the things you move around the board. I don't know. Like Despicable Me.
That's not a terrible clue.
Okay. What about this other one that's really pretty and you love, and it's really it's got like the aliens and then like the little spinny things at the top.
We're not getting it. Origins, First Builders.
You're wrong, Natalie. You're just wrong.
I'm just
You just
wrong.
yeah.
That's the
And
wrong
time.
game.
Oh, you were doing so well. You only
You
missed.
said something. and,
Max
like,
vs.
threw-
Minions was the one.
I just was
right?
giving you the time.
What did it?
It was
Yeah.
Bitoku. She was trying to get you to guess, but she definitely gave you the clue for Origins.
Okay.
That was Origins.
For some reason, she fell on her face at Too Many Bones.
I didn't know what to say about it.
So you did great, though. You only missed Too Many Bones, and
Bitoku and Max vs.
Insider is the one that you...
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
what to say
it's just
about
20 questions.
it. Oh yeah.
20 questions cooperatively, but one person kind of knows. Right?
Max vs. Minions I got at the end just for...
Oh, you did get messed up. So you only missed then Insider, Too Many Bones, and Bitoku.
But I didn't say it at the time, so we missed that one. So we missed 4.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Okay. So yeah, you
I
only
thought
missed
about
4.
the end.
That was
Oh,
really
man.
close. You got really
know,
close
yeah.
that
God,
time.
I, like,
I shouldn't have said the
freaked
time.
out. I know.
Why did that mess you? I said the
don't
time every
know.
time. I was like 1 minute, and you were like, oh God.
Well, it's
oh
like-
no.
it like-
oh no. Jesus.
It's like all of a sudden my brain went blank, and I'm like, I can't think of anything for any of these. Did you see? Like, it's like
Yeah, I was like, where is she? She's
like,
at
think of
Mombasa all of a
something.
sudden. She was like, it's hanging on the wall, and I'm like, Bitoku's hanging on the wall. I'm like, oh, it's Crokinole.
Oh, man.
You did great though. No, you did
some
very
of them
very
are,
good.
like hard for me. Like Bitoku, I'm like, I don't remember. I
know.
can't think of
Stop.
something quick.
It's
to
the one that
say
means
about
like
it.
dick in the ass. Remember? She would have like said that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, well, I don't remember that.
You forgot
hard.
that? That's like the
yeah. Even like Max vs.
pressure.
Minions, I'm like, what do I say that's quick that he'll just get it like this? Like
Yeah.
I couldn't think of like.
Yeah. Well, you did great. You got you guys got most
Yeah, we did
all
good.
of them.
eventually we'll...
Only
how I
4.
get
We're
them?
close.
Eventually we'll say we'll get it again.
We won't do it. Oh man. Very close, very close, very close. That brings us to the top 5 of the episode. For this episode's top 5, we are going through our top 5 excuses as to why we didn't win this game. Why didn't we win the game? Everybody's got excuses that they make to why they didn't win. We're going to go through ours. We're keeping it light. We're keeping it fun. We don't know what each other's are, so they're probably going to vary wildly in terms of tone. But so we're going to go me, Natalie, Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 5 top excuse why I didn't win. I'm calling this the what ifer. That's my number 5. The what ifer. Holy shit, check this out, you guys. If only A, B, C, D, E, F, and G would have happened, I would have won by 50 points.
Yep.
So in my head, I won. Right? People do that all the time. The what-iffer. What if,
2 more turns,
if only
I
you
won.
didn't do that, he didn't do this, 3 turns ago, that didn't happen, and I did this like I wanted to, I would have won. It's like, yeah, okay, well, that doesn't fucking change shit. That's the game.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, so you lost. That's the game. Natalie, what about you?
Mine is, well, you learned it, so you know it better. So that's why you won.
Nice. That's a good one. Yep.
Good excuse.
Yep.
Good excuse. Jeff, what about you?
My number 5 is the sun was in my eyes.
I couldn't see. Jeff, we're in the basement.
The light.
We're in the
light was
basement.
in my eyes. It was reflecting off of your cup, and it went in my eyes, and the sun was in my eyes. And then there was a
Jeff, it's
dog.
midnight.
Did you not hear
It's
the dog
midnight,
outside?
Jeff.
The dog was barking. And I was trying to take my turns, but the sun was refracting off your player board into my eyes, and I couldn't even see what I was doing. So I lost because the sun was in my eyes, and there was a dog barking outside.
Number 4 for me. And number 4 for me, I'm calling this one the learning game. And here it is. I wasn't even trying to win. I was just trying to get the mechanisms out of the game down. I was just pushing buttons and pulling levers. I expected to lose. Play me again next time and watch out. Plays again next time and loses worse. But that's a lot of people are like, well, this is just a learning game.
Yeah.
You know, that's a definite excuse that people give. Like, I was just learning it. I didn't even care.
Yeah, it's like
I didn't care about it.
It's okay to play games like that,
of
but
course
don't make
it's
that
bad.
Don't make
my
that the
learning
reason you lost, because that cheapens the win for the other players. All right, Natalie, what's your number 4?
Mine is that whole thing where they're like, well, if you didn't take that spot that I needed, you know.
Yeah, the what if.
Well, it's different though.
Oh, it's different. Yes, you're right.
Because you were like, if I would have done, I guess.
No, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's all good. It's the same.
I'll switch it.
To what?
No, it
Okay.
doesn't matter.
I know, that was kind of on my list, too.
Yeah, that's good. We can have overlap here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
I thought
good
it was
one.
different, but that's fine.
It is different. Say your thing. What were you going to say?
Like feeling like it wasn't like, well, if this would have happened, it was more like you screwed me over because I wanted to go there and you took that spot. So now
Right.
that's why I didn't.
Yeah, if
It's
you
more
wouldn't
like
wouldn't have
that.
gone there.
Yeah.
Especially right down, like, oh, if I would have.
What if he wouldn't have gone there? Yeah, then I could have. Right, exactly. All right, Jeff, what's your number 4?
The biggest reason I lost this game, I was winning, and then I was drinking, and I was really focused on the snacks. So the food, I was eating the food while you took your turn. I didn't see that you went.
That was
there.
the metagame I was
But then-
playing against you.
And then I've been drinking all day.
Who wants pizza rolls?
So I was drinking, and I was really focused on the snacks, and that's why I lost. But if I didn't have the drinks, you'd have lost, but I'd have been hungrier, so I guess I don't really know. But I would have won if I didn't have the drinks.
Number 3 for me is the new strategy. Someone says the entire game, I'm just trying something new here. It's probably not going to work out, but it's fun. It's fun. Loses horribly. See, I only lost because I was trying this new potatoes for point strategy. I just want to have fun because I could do the same strategy that everyone else does to win the game. But you know what I want to do? I like to have fun with my game, so I'm going to play a completely different, off the wall strategy. That's why I lost. People do that shit all the fucking time too. Natalie, what's number 3?
And again, it's cool. Play a game with a different strategy.
Yeah, I don't care. But don't then be like, well, I only lost because I was trying something new. And then
Don't make it a thing.
But the whole point that they're telegraphing that the whole game is so people don't think they're stupid. Mm-hmm. Natalie, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is, well, we started too late, and I was like really tired.
Yeah.
We should have started so late.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You said that before.
I just can't really think.
Me.
Oh, that's great. All right, Jeff, what's number 3?
I've had some other ones that come up. That's you guys have also said. I'm gonna
That's
go
all
with a different one.
All right.
I lost because I was just too busy taking pictures for Instagram. So while you were taking your turn, I was moving the box around.
You're like,
I was
my
even
turn?
thinking about
I
that.
was taking pictures. Taking pictures. Well, I had to move this marker over here. That's why I lost, because it just looked better in the picture. Like, I wanted a worker to go on that space because that picture looked a lot better. So I was just taking pictures, and that's why I lost, because if I wasn't taking pictures, I would have kicked your ass.
All right, number 2 for me is the rules explainer messed me up. Oh my God, I didn't know I could have been turning potatoes into points the whole time. That completely changes my strategy and what I would have done. No, it's okay. I mean, I would have gotten 35 more points on the potato track and 66 more points in this point track, but it's not your fault.
I'm going to potatoes.
You know, a lot of people do that, though. Oh, if I would have known that.
Like everyone that just
Yeah, like everybody
Gaia
that
Project.
knew. Oh, I didn't know that
Yeah.
you could do this. Well, I did tell you the rules, and everyone's been playing it that way all game. Well, if I would have known, you didn't make it. You didn't totally make it a point. Like, fuck you. Now that was number 2.
Fuck you. My number 2, he said.
Yeah, number 2
is you get this game. This game clicked for you. It didn't click for me. So.
Yeah. Right. This game's smarter than me.
Yeah, it just clicked.
Yeah, it's just, of
Click.
course, it clicks for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Jeff, number 2?
My number 2 is I don't really want to win this game anyway. It was a stupid game. I don't like. This game was dumb. I don't even like this game. We played it once before and it was stupid, and then we played it again. It's
That's
still
like
stupid.
Andy Bernard. He's like, Andy Bernard does not lose Andy Bernard wins or quits because it's stupid.
It's a stupid game. It's a stupid game. I was like halfway through, I wasn't even trying because it was stupid, and then it's the stupid game. And
that kind of leads into my number one, which is I don't care. I don't even care about winning or losing. I just want to have fun.
Who cares?
I'm never, ever trying to win. I'm just playing for the experience. If I happen to win, I guess that's cool. But if I happen to lose, I'm not going to like go home and punch holes in Natalie or anything out of frustration, anger, dread, and anguish. It's just a game. I just care about hanging out with all my friends. I don't care about winning. That's got to be the most number one thing people say when they lose. I don't care.
Yeah.
I've said that so many times. Yeah. I don't care. Think I care? I don't fucking care. Really, in your deep down, you go like, God damn it.
If you really didn't care, you
wouldn't say that. Yeah, you would not be saying that. Exactly. Oh, I'm calling myself out. Natalie, number one for you.
My number one is similar to one of the ones Jeff said was...
Suns in your eyes.
No, it was...
That was my favorite one.
Well, I drank too much. I ended up drinking too much wine. Yes. So I didn't even know what was going on.
I was like so drunk.
I didn't even know what was going on. So.
The kids were crazy today, and I just have, oh my gosh, my dad brain is just nuts right now. That's great. Jeff, it's come to you.
My number one, I lost because it was a third player disadvantage. I was third player, and it was bullshit because you got this thing, and then Natalie got a resource, and then I only got this stupider resource. It was clearly a third player disadvantage. Or if I was second player, it was a second player disadvantage. And if I was first, it was like first player disadvantage. You got all this cool stuff, but I only got to go first.
Realistically, that's a great one. The first player disadvantage.
Like,
we talk about that stuff at like
going first.
We laugh about that at game night of like where whoever wins is like, well, second player advantage.
Second player advantage. Yep.
And if you lose, like, well, fourth player disadvantage. I knew I was going to lose right from the beginning. I had the disadvantage right off the bat. It's just something funny. That's like a funny one.
That's really funny.
Third player disadvantage. I can do it. Sun was in my eyes.
Do you guys have any honorable mentions? I again just wrote 5. I just
my only one was the. This game's stupid.
Stupid game.
I had everything that you guys said. I was trying a different strategy, and that's, I was
I just wanted to try something new.
Really, really new. And then I would have won if I would have just been able to go to that spot, but like I needed 48 other things, and I couldn't go there. But I was able to go there.
If I went there, that would have kicked off the chain reaction that I needed to destroy all of you by 30. So really, in my brain, I beat you by 30.
If I would have taken all the same actions you took, I would have won the tiebreaker.
Like, if you just didn't keep taking that thing right in front of me every single time, every game, my strategy was sound. It was you.
Yeah, I was
fucking me over on purpose.
Points.
You were just fucking me over on purpose. I know it.
Yeah.
It's so funny because a lot of it's
because I bought that Selena Gomez Sex Dolls.
I blame you. It's your fault I lost. But really, instead of, it is their fault because
that's the
they
game.
Played better than
that's
you.
the game. They beat you.
But they don't say you played better than me. They're like, well, it's your fault.
I would have won if you didn't do this. Well, yeah, you're right. And then I could say the same shit to you. Right. I would have won if you didn't do that. Yeah, it's the same fucking shit.
That was funny. Maybe I'll send this out on Instagram next week, whether it's our inbox or not. Maybe I'll just send it out.
It will at least be fun to hear what people say.
If people have some good excuses.
I mean, because clearly these are either things we've heard or have done ourselves.
Oh, most of them are things I've done myself.
Yeah, we've all done this. Like
stuff.
We say it like we haven't done it, but we've all fucking done it.
But I do like making fun of it because now you hear this and you got to be like, oh God, he's calling me out. I do that all the fucking time.
We're calling ourselves out.
Yeah, we're calling ourselves out.
It's always in the moment when you're just like you're butthurt. You're briefly butthurt that you like didn't win.
And you're trying to justify it to other people to make you seem smarter. Yeah, because you don't want to seem like you're stupid.
Yeah.
So you got to be like, oh, there's other people that are like, that will like be like, oh man, you beat me by 1 point. Yeah. I just lost this game by 1 point. Everybody hear that? I hope everybody in the room heard that I only lost by 1 point. Yeah. Janelle beat me again by 1 point. Just so you guys know.
That was great.
So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts service the podcast. We also have a Facebook group. Just search Gamecasters and you'll find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. If you like the show, we'd love it if you consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen that allows you to rate us. We've also got a Patreon. If you want to support the show, feel free to head on over to patreon.com/thegamecasters. There's also a merch store where you can find all sorts of different Gamecasters, Mad Board Gamer, Gateway gear. So head on over to thegatewaynetwork.com/store. Please follow me and consider subscribing on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamecasters. So for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I'm Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody. Okay, so this is our levels check. This is levels check. And this is my levels check. Where's Natalie's?
Here's my levels check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think so. Jeff, what about you? Where's your levels check?
My levels check is right here. I brought it with me. It was in the car. I put it in my bag and brought it here, and now here it is.
Thanks.